move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer N61. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
See why Comcast Business powers more small businesses than anyone else. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call to switch today. Ends 5/6/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Orlando Magic Pod Squad is the Orlando Magic's flagship podcast, featuring interviews with Magic players, coaches, executives, and legends. Join me, Dante Marchitelli, along with the rotating cast of Magic personalities every Thursday during the season as we conduct deep dive interviews with Magic A-listers. This podcast is a must-listen for any Orlando Magic fan. Join the squad with the Orlando Magic Pod Squad on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And now your Fresh from Florida forecast with our friendly Florida farmer, Phil. How's it looking in the fields, Phil?
Fantastic. Florida blueberry season is here, and we've got a big blueberry front sweeping through. Expect a downpour of blueberries in your morning cereal, a good chance of blueberries in your afternoon smoothies, and a high probability of blueberry pies for dessert. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Phil. That's very good news. Look for the Fresh from Florida logo where you shop. There's sunshine in every bite.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. That's why over 100,000 Floridians have made StormSmart a part of theirs. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows are designed to help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. In fact, StormSmart can protect every opening in your home. If you live in Florida, extreme weather is a part of life. But for year-round storm protection, you can count on StormSmart. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Hi, everybody. It's Savannah Guthrie here with Hoda Kotb from the Today Show.
You know that saying, you learn something new every day? Well, it is so true.
Yes, every morning on Today, it's those little tips that can help save you time and improve your day.
From the simplest ways to save money right now to incredible kitchen and cleaning hacks that you never knew existed. Just remember,
see it, hear it, learn it on Today.
Oh, that's genius. You just saved me $40.
Every morning, right here on NBC.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Win a new 2023 Harley. Palm Beach Harley is giving away a new 2023 Harley Street Bomb. Just come into Palm Beach Harley and enter for a chance to win a new 2023 Harley. Win a new Harley today at Palm Beach Harley.
No purchase necessary to enter. Valid at participating dealers. See dealer for details.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Is your child struggling with reading and comprehension? Do you want to help your child become a better reader? Call the USA Reading Clinic. In less than 20 minutes, the USA Reading Clinic can explain exactly why your child struggles with reading and how to correct the problem. In the first free call, the USA Reading Clinic will prove that your child can actually read at normal or advanced levels. Every child has the ability to become a great reader, and the USA Reading Clinic has the proven method to unlock their potential.
My heart broke when I saw my child struggling, and I thought, that's us. So I called the USA Reading Clinic, and all I can say is if you have a child who's struggling, I was very skeptical, but I can tell you it works. It absolutely works.
Don't let your child go through their school years feeling like a failure. They can fall in love with reading. Call now. 800-375-1175. That's 800-375-1175. 800-375-1175.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like One Hit Wonders.
This is the story of a girl. I'm not sick, but I'm not well.
Just search One Hit Wonders and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for a crash on I-95 southbound approaching 10th Avenue North. It's blocking 2 right lanes. There's a crash in Boca, Palmetto Park Road, west of Federal Highway. Spot something on the roads? Call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of Chuck Colson's redemption from Watergate to saving souls. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. For $1,000 now. Enter the nationwide keyword WIN at realradio921.com. That's WIN. Enter it now at realradio921.com, and good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's National Lovers Day.
You love so much.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you so much.
Just my love.
There is so much love in this world. We are so very much in love.
So much love.
My lover.
My lover.
To my lover.
Happy National Lovers Day.
Showtime.
Redefining radio. This is where the fun begins. Introducing Greek.
Let me tell you something. Don't ever love more you than anybody else you love more.
Francis.
Because then you're squeezing your banana so hard every time you come in here, and then you're pounding it on the desk.
Jimmy.
We haven't had to pull it for quite a while, so we got to lube it up.
Let's get the party started. It's the Penthouse on Real Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Penthouse. How we doing today? This is Jimmy getting ready to get us on the air, and we got to put the board in the right position so that Francis can hear what's going on, because it really, really does make it difficult when you can't hear what's happening over the air coming on to. And hello and happy Tuesday.
Hello, happy Tuesday. I was living in complete silence. I was like, what's going on around here? Just the usual in the Penthouse. What is happening? Happy Tuesday, as Jimmy mentioned. Thank you so much for tuning in. Real Radio 92.1, 1017. And of course, anywhere around the world on that absolutely free iHeartRadio app. Yes, you're hearing my voice, and not Greek's in the beginning, because he is taking a day off. We will have him back in the Penthouse tomorrow, but you got me, you got Jimmy, and of course we have you. You can participate with us in so many ways. That text line right in front of me, 47142, started off with Real Radio. Of course, you can email Jimmy at realradio921.com. We also have the talkback feature. You just got to have the iHeartRadio app. Search for Real Radio 921. Click on that microphone icon. Leave us a voicemail. And then, of course, if you want to have a conversation with us. That's at toll-free number 877-927-6969. Good morning to you, Jimmy.
Oh, good morning, Miss Francis. How are you today?
Oh, doing okay.
How's the new set of wheels?
So, new set of wheels. That was one of the good things that happened to me this weekend. I'm very happy with it, very excited. New to me, shall I say,
Sure.
because she is a used car 2021. And I say she because I named her Scarlett.
Because of the interior.
Because the interior,
I'll let you get into
got
that.
it, right? Yep. So I ended up trading in my Volvo. I had her for 3 years, but it was
Really?
yeah.
You had that for 3 years.
Isn't that crazy
smokes.
already?
Just time flies.
Yeah,
That's all. That's all.
I got in that car accident
Right.
leaving work.
Right.
And I had to get a new car, and we test drove a lot of cars, and we heard how safe Volvos were, and I got something a little bit bigger. I got
Right.
an SUV.
Okay.
And I just never really just never really fell in love with her. Like the car never had a name. All my cars had names. Like it just we didn't connect that way.
Okay.
And I think I was also mad at her because she was so expensive. The monthly payments were killing me. So that was really
There's a bunch of guys that are saying the same thing right now.
Yeah, right?
I'm so mad at her because she's so expensive.
She's so expensive. And so I think that was another thing. I was just a little bitter towards my car. But so I did. I was looking around. I really didn't think it was going to happen because I was a little bit upside down in my car. And but my husband he was like full speed ahead, full force. He was doing all the research. He was like looking up stuff. He connected me, with the place to sell my car, to the place to buy my car. He test drove the car. He was like totally doing his homework.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Did everything.
I didn't realize how involved he was with it. Okay.
So
Excellent.
we saw the car that I purchased at another dealership. And we were going to get it, but then they had a recall because of airbags, same model and everything. And so they're like, we're not going to be able to sell it to you until, and it could be months. It could be a couple months.
Oh, all right.
And we're like, oh, well, great.
Oh, boy. That doesn't work.
Yeah. So he did his research, found a similar car, another dealership that already had the issue fixed for the recall.
Oh,
It was
right.
an airbag.
Okay,
It was an
okay.
airbag issue
Gotcha.
for a passenger. So he was like, do you want me, do you want to come test drive it? I was like, well, I already know with the car. I've been in it, same year, same everything. And I was like, and you probably can feel better. You're a guy, right? Like you can probably tell better if there's any issues. So I had him go down and test drive it. And he was like, yep, this is it. So we ended up monthly, it's going to be a lot cheaper than what I was paying, which is fantastic because it's a nice car. I got a nice Lexus ES350 F Sport class. Yes.
Excellent.
But a few years old. Not many miles on it, a little over 20, and those cars last a long time. I love that. I had a Lexus ES350 2 cars ago, and it was my favorite. I mean, I rode that thing until almost 200,000 miles.
Right.
Like she
That's
definitely,
great.
good money's worth. So really happy about that. But, it is money. And my husband did come out of pocket a little bit to pay off my car. But now,
in the long run, though, it's going to work out financially. And that was one of the biggest driving factors, no pun intended, as far as getting to there. And I understand the feeling, believe me. Anytime you try to downsize and, make things a little bit less each month, I get it. And I want to come out and see it because, unfortunately, we have that issue where you have an Apple and I have an Android. So when you send me videos, like the quality of the video is, the Apple downplays it. Because Android, this is going to an Android. We have to, but anyway, so I got a good gist of it, and it looked pretty nice.
Yeah,
but
she's out in the parking lot right now.
Got to get out there and take a look at that beauty.
So absolutely, yeah. No, I'm really happy, but we'll talk about it a little bit because Jimmy has something to do. I am not going to be selling this car for parts anytime soon, but there's things that you can. So Jimmy, I didn't tell you yesterday because it's one of those woe is me, but it's like, man, you go and you spend money on something and then something happens that makes you go, all right, where'd my money go? So, and it's things that you have to deal with. So my golden retriever, I call her a puppy because she's a little over a year old, the one that we adopted a few months ago.
This is Phoebe.
Phoebe, yeah, she was acting really strange and not her velociraptor self. Like she is a velociraptor. She's like crazy. And so we get home, and she is not herself, not wanting to move, not anything. And we're like, oh, my God. And I'm crying. And I'm like, there's something wrong with her. Right. There's something wrong with her. She's not herself. And so next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, get her right when the vet opens up, and they take her in. So anyways.
Even a day later, so same thing.
So it was at night when we noticed it. She was fine all day. It was Saturday. Fine all day. And then Saturday night, that's when she started being weird. So then, we just kind of hung out for the day to see if she got better or for the night. And then took her when we woke up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, realized she wasn't still okay.
Okay, so still.
Yeah.
All right.
So ended up finding out. They did blood work. They did x-rays because even the vet, like when she walked in, she was just laying there. She didn't even get up for the vet. She gets up for everybody. So we ended up doing x-rays and blood work. Blood work came out good, which is, good news. Nothing internally as far as blood. They did find in x-rays something odd floating around near her intestines, but they said that wasn't the issue. And I was I was like, she eats everything.
Well, that's
I got a screwdriver out of her mouth the other day.
typically what you go to, right? They got into something, they showed garbage, a chicken bone or something.
Yes. So they said that wasn't the issue. Find out which happens in a lot of Goldens, there's an issue with her left hip, like thigh, little socket. It's not connecting. The vet was trying to show us something. Well, overall, it's something that's going to have to be taken care of. Surgery, something, but it was I know. So they gave us pain medication to see how she was doing, and I was like, is it something that's going to heal on their own? And they said no. They're like, eventually she's going to need surgery. They're talking like she probably needs a total hip replacement. She's a year and 2 months old. Total hip replacement. So, that was one of those things that would just like... she said there's other options out there. We might go get a second opinion because that surgery is like $15,000.
I would imagine.
And point being, if your company or anything offers pet insurance, get it because we don't have it. And we asked, we're like, would it have been worth it? And she's like, yeah, but not now because it's pre-existing, right? That's the thing that sucks.
Yeah,
but she said, absolutely. So now we're like, just for future things that could happen to the 3 dogs, we're definitely jumping on this pet insurance thing.
Something to look into. I looked into it, and it didn't seem to be very cost effective when I did, but it could be, depending on your situation. So it certainly doesn't hurt to look into it.
Absolutely.
But I'm sorry to hear about that.
I know.
If nothing else, just from the health standpoint,
exactly.
You hate to see something like that. And again, a hip is something that doesn't go away typically, especially with dogs.
A young dog.
That's the surprising part, I guess. But that you say that's a thing with Goldens?
Well, Goldens have a lot of hip issues.
Do they? Okay.
But not that young. I mean, I have one that's going to be 7, and I mean, she's still spry, no issues whatsoever, but every dog is different. With our bulldog, when we got her, everybody's like, you're going to have so many issues. She's going to be at the vet so often,
really?
blah, 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 skin and breathing. She has been perfect. I mean, I think the worst she had was UTIs, and that's it. Like, she has been, we've had no problems with her. So you just never know. But of course, we're going to do whatever we can do.
Yeah, legs, hips. I've heard that. Typically with bigger dogs. There's no rocket science there. But I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So I told her she's going to have to start working to pay for this surgery.
Oh well, I mean, hey,
putting her to work. Maybe have only paws or something like that.
Should slay it.
She's adorable.
She should slay it.
Definitely can't sell her for parts, but there are things I can sell for parts, right? That I can make money off of.
Maybe this will help you out that you can get a couple extra dollars just to get into this.
Yes.
Someone did a write-up on the best things in your house that you can sell for parts. I'm going to give a little disclaimer here in a minute on one of them. But the first one is only in your house if you count the garage. But, of course, they're talking about an older car. If like it doesn't, run anymore or something like that.
Sitting
so
there.
they've talked about that, and you've probably got, more valuable stuff. But it is something in there that you can sell for parts. If it's an older one and you just don't need it anymore, of course they can get there's some places that you can go like you just did recently now, and then also junker places where you can get rid of them because even an engine could grab you about $500 or the airbags in them are worth some money, tires, rims, anything like that. So you can grab a couple bucks there if you want to, if that's something. I know it's not like everybody has a car laying around, but it is something that maybe others don't necessarily think about. Another one, number 2 on this list, and I'm going to put a little disclaimer here. If you're going to do this, make sure that you can find a way to wipe it out first. But it talked about computers, and you might be able to sell them off for certain parts on it, right?
Okay.
Maybe a video card on there, certain aspects of it, like the power unit that's, comes with it. Maybe you can do something there.
I wouldn't even know. I guess I would just probably be like, here, just take the whole computer.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, you would give it to somebody like a computer store or something that can do that. Problem with that, and at least in my this is just my thought. It's not that anybody ever told me, but all your, like anything you've ever done banking wise, it could be on there that maybe they could lift off information, passwords, anything like that, anything stored on it.
You just want to make sure
so if there's a way that you can wipe it clean, and if you know how to do that out there, 47142 is our text line. Start off that text with Real Radio, because I'd love to know a nice, easy way to wipe a computer clean that you can just, okay, boom, there, it's gone, and you can give it. Because I've had several, and I still have a couple of them, and I don't want to get rid of them for that reason.
Yeah.
Anytime that I have, I've always taken the board out and I've tried to smash the card.
You don't want
I don't know what else to do. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, well, I'm not worried about my porn search. Heck, I'll share that with you.
Yeah.
But it's more banking. I'm always afraid of that. Or passwords.
And I'm the same way with my cell phone. How sometimes they're like, "We'll do trade-ins," and I know, like, I download everything on the cloud, and then I start whatever you do your phone so it wipes everything off, and it looks like a brand new phone. But still in my head, I'm like, "Is it still there? Is it somewhere? What's going on?" Yeah.
Especially nowadays, that would get me even more. Now I haven't replaced a cell phone in quite a while, and matter of fact, I don't. Is this my first? I think this is my first smartphone.
Okay.
I've never had a smartphone before that. It was always a dumb phone, so I never had to worry about it. But when I got to this one now, I'm thinking about trading this one in at some point in time.
Sometimes they'll give you money for it, and that's the thing, cut you a better deal. So it's just like, oh, might as well.
Yeah, you get $150 off or something like that for a trade, and then they'll wipe it out and restore it to the factory. Well, that's the thing, right?
They take it to the back. They're looking at it like a banking. I'm just kidding. I know. There's good people out there.
When I bought this one, this was a restored one, and refurbished, I guess is the right word, not restored, but it was refurbished. And when I first got it, obviously whoever had it before me was from Vietnam, because it had a Vietnam calendar on it.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of quite odd.
Huh.
So again, it just makes you wonder how much is actually off there. Can somebody ever lift that? So that's always that's the one thing that I will say about that. And maybe it's perfectly legit and easy to do to wipe out. Another thing, and this isn't something I ever would have thought of. These are 5 things that you can sell for parts. Board games. I don't know if you would
Just
ever
like
think
pieces?
of something like that. eBay has a whole section dedicated to buying and selling old game pieces and parts. So you figure you got an old Monopoly game, you're going to just throw it out. Well, you got all those little what are the little trinkets that your player piece, right? You got the car and the thimble and the hat and the top hat. Well, maybe somebody wants one of those. It's not going to be worth a lot of money.
I was
but
going
it's
to
just
say,
something
I
that
feel
you
like
can do.
that's just a little bit of change or something,
right.
unless there's more value to them than I don't know about.
Take a look on there. Like I said, eBay has a section for it, so you can at least check it out. I mean, it's before you throw it out. I mean, that's typically what we would do, right? Maybe the board is worth something. Maybe it's an older board, and somebody it's worth some money that way too. But just something to look into. If you're into music and you have an old electric guitar, they say you can probably get a couple bucks for maybe the old pickups on there, the tuning pegs. They might be worth something for somebody else. Maybe grab you a couple of bucks. And finally on this list is Lego pieces, specifically spare pieces for old Lego sets. And there's a whole website called Brick Link that's dedicated to it. So again, I haven't really dealt with Lego since I was a kid, so I don't know how much is worth there. But I know we're getting something for one of the grandkids for her birthday coming up. Is a Lego. They're obviously very popular out there. So there's a couple things maybe laying around you wouldn't have thought about necessarily that you might be able to get a couple bucks on if you got it laying around and you don't want it anymore.
There you go.
Think about it. I wouldn't have thought about the board game, but apparently you can go to eBay and check that out. So I saw a link. I went to it and it had a whole bunch of board games on there. And so I can say maybe, I don't know. I can't see it being that valuable, but what the heck?
I mean, a couple
Doesn't
bucks
hurt
here and
looking
there,
into it.
if it adds up. I mean, sometimes desperate times, right? Speaking of a couple bucks.
Maybe that old vibrator you're not using anymore. It's kind of worn out. Like the one end is worn out, but the motor still works. So you might be able to get a couple bucks for that.
You say that, and I laugh because somebody posted something on like a marketplace, not marketplace, but that they were at a Goodwill. And do you remember the controversial billboard that was on North Lake when you get off the exit? It still belongs to Adult Warehouse.
Right.
They just have, it's like a hand massager now. I can't really tell. But it was the Rose.
It
was
Rose.
like,
okay, right.
The Rose. And the Rose does stuff to women that excites them,
Right.
let's just say. And people are upset about it.
Or some men too.
Oh, does it? I was like, where? It's just such a small hole.
I'll show you later.
So the rose, somebody was at a Goodwill and snapped a picture of it. It's like buy like these porcelain figurines, and then you have the rose, and it's marked for like $9.99 and sitting there. And I just have a feeling that people at Goodwill have no clue what it is and just thought that it was
Wait a minute. You saw one of these sex toys at a Goodwill.
Somebody did, yeah, and they posted a pic, and it's just sitting with all these trinkets.
Oh, that's
And it's
funny.
sitting up, and it's got a $9.99, which is a great deal, by the way. Label on it.
Can you tell me where that Goodwill is?
And they were just laughing. They were like, I guarantee the staff has no idea what this is. And it is, for sure.
Clearly.
It's got the little hole. It's the pink rose.
Oh,
and I
my
was
God.
like,
So
yep.
they're selling it as decoration.
Who thinks that somebody wants your used sex toy?
Maybe they didn't know.
I don't know. But I'm saying the person who was giving it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, for whatever
And
reason.
why would you give it up? That thing's great. I'm just kidding. Don't know.
Allegedly.
But listen, we do not have G-Man with us today. You mentioned a couple bucks. I got some interesting news on why bank tellers, they say don't request $2 bills. I know a lot of people like them. They can find them lucky.
Oh, excellent. You got that story? Because I saw
do.
the headline on it, and I thought that was pretty interesting, but I just didn't get around to reading it. So that'll be good to hear.
I've got a couple in my handbag right now because back in the day, I used to have a customer, and that's all. Like, he would just tip with $2 bills. And he was like, they're for luck.
Yeah, we give them as gifts, too, for, little kids.
Yep. So I'll let you know. They say don't request this. This is according to a bank teller. Of course, we still got $1,000 in your hand coming your way. We got 13 times from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We give you a keyword. You take the keyword, enter it, realradio921.com. You can score yourself $1,000. Jimmy, do we have that 10 o'clock keyword? If
We
you want to
do.
share?
That 10 o'clock keyword is win. Go to realradio921.com. Just like Franny said, a window will pop right up for you and enter win, and you'll be in the running for this hour's $1,000. Got another half hour or so to go do that, so get on it.
All right, awesome. And then we're going to get into your text messages about how to clean out a computer.
Oh, all right.
We'll let
Already
you know
got them in. Excellent.
Uh-huh. And we do not have Greek with us today, but Jimmy will handle very well the Greeks trifecta and, of course, this day in history when we come back on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
Third season premiere of The Morning Show on Apple TV and the series premiere of The Other Black Girl on Hulu.
I hope that's what it's called.
It's called that. Of course, why would I say that?
The News Junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for a crash on I-95 southbound approaching 10th Avenue North. It's blocking 2 right lanes. There's a crash in Boca, Palmetto Park Road, west of Federal Highway. Spot something on the roads? Call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hurst.
This report is sponsored by Verdict with Ted Cruz Podcast.
I'm Ben Ferguson. And I'm Ted Cruz. Israel strikes back, attacking Iran. We explain what's happening right now.
Plus, the Attorney General admits that fentanyl is the worst drug threat in American history, and yet our borders are open.
Download Verdict with Ted Cruz wherever you get your podcasts.
Hayes the Greek, and it's Monroe's at Palm Beach, where 7 days a week you can find the beautiful girls and a great atmosphere and a 5-star menu. And Friday night is Fetish Fridays. Make sure you get there on a Friday to kick off your weekend. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. That's where all the beautiful ladies are, and they will make you feel like a winner. Stop in Monroe 7 days a week and enjoy yourself and have a beautiful lady by your side. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. Make sure it's on your agenda. It's always on mine. Peace.
Hey, you.
Yeah?
Did you know that MMJ Health has a patient qualification test to see if you qualify for a medical marijuana card?
Really?
Yeah. Just go to mmjhealth.com. You could meet with a Florida medical marijuana doctor today.
Gnarly.
Florida Talk Real Estate is your one-stop real estate shop. Whether you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, you're stuck with a home and you don't know what to do, look no further than FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Listen every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. until 11, right here on Real Radio 92.1.
Hayes the Greek for Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka makes a good night a great night. No matter what you're doing, make sure you put Tito's Handmade Vodka in your lineup. You have a tough day at the office, grab a bottle of Tito's, sit by your pool, and enjoy yourself. Playing golf, and maybe your score wasn't that good? You want to make it a better score? Have some Tito's Handmade Vodka. Enjoy yourself and enjoy South Florida. Pick up a bottle. Tito's Handmade Vodka today. Any day is a good day, but with Tito's, it becomes a great day. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Peace.
place.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. That's why over 100,000 Floridians have made StormSmart a part of theirs. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows are designed to help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. In fact, StormSmart can protect every opening in your home. If you live in Florida, extreme weather is a part of life. But for year-round storm protection, you can count on StormSmart. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zapata, CMO Hyundai Motor America, discusses measuring audio.
The measurement capability within audio, I think, surprised all of us. We have seen a huge return on our investment. Seeing real numbers has helped us continue to invest.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the data, audiences, and influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Every business faces challenges, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
Continuing that warm up throughout the afternoon, will be in the upper 70s and low 80s for our highs today.
cloudless sky overnight tonight as we cool back down. Upper 60s and low 70s for our overnight lows. High pressure settles in over the next few days, keeping our temperatures right around where they should be for this time of year, in the low 80s for our highs.
This report is sponsored by Silk. Feel plenty good. Shop wherever you find groceries. Silk's delicious plant-based beverages help bring a daily dose of goodness to help you feel plenty good. They are rich in calcium and a good source of vitamins A and D to support the health of you and your family. Shop wherever you find groceries.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like One Hit Wonders Radio. The greatest one-hit wonders of all time. Ones you definitely remember. I smell sex and candy. And ones that'll make you say, oh yeah. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search One Hit Wonders, and listen now, commercial-free. Free never sounded so good.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, welcome back into the PH on a Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Radio. Good morning to you. We normally have G-Man here in the host chair, but he is taking a day off. He will be back with us tomorrow, but you got me. Hey, it's Franny. And of course, we have Jimmy. Good morning, Jimmy.
Hello and good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. And just because we do not have G-Man does not mean we don't have a trifecta, and Jimmy's got that covered.
Riders up. It's Creek's Trifecta.
Well, we're going to start in the NBA, and if you didn't see the final minute or so of this game last night, I highly recommend you seek it out. Jamal Murray hit a buzzer beater for the Denver Nuggets to give them a 101-99 victory over the Lakers last night. So let me set this up. LeBron goes down, and he misses a three-pointer. Jamal gets the rebound on it, and there's about 10 seconds left on the clock at that point. And it's tied at 99. So he brings it up kind of half slow to half court, kind of leans over to the right side of the court, does a little fake, throws it up there because he's killing the clock. And as the ball's in the air, just before it goes into the net, boom, the red light comes on. And so it's legit and everything. And he hits a buzzer beater. I mean, it was just a perfect ending to this game. I mean, just very exciting. It was back and forth the last couple of minutes of the game and everything. So it's what you love to see, especially in playoff basketball. Poor guy didn't even see it happen either. He fell back after he put the ball up in the air. He fell back and he was like into the bench and everything. Didn't even see it, but of course the roar of the crowd.
Yeah, which actually kind of makes it more cool that way.
Gave every indication of what happened. They were down by 20 at the half too, so big comeback for the Nuggets. Denver leads the series 2-0 with Game 3 in Los Angeles on Thursday night. The Knicks fans also gave Madison Square Garden another reason to erupt. Of course, now the Rangers, they blew out the Capitals 4-1 on Sunday, and the Knicks went in last night and gave MSG fans another exciting ending. They were down by 5 with 30 seconds to go, and a late rally put them up by 3 for the win, 104-101 over the 76ers. Game 3 is Thursday night in Philadelphia. Another game, if you want to catch just the very ending of it, was exciting as heck. And just as a reminder, too, for your trifecta, playoff hockey continues tonight. Your Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 2 of their series. Panthers are up, and they won Game 1, and they won that game 3-2 and hope to go up 2-0 in the series at Amerant Bank Arena. Now, if you want, we'll get into a little on this day in history, and then we got a phone call waiting. We'll get into that here in a second as well.
On this day in history.
I'll buzz through this really quick here, and we're going to start in the year 1908, and that's when President Theodore Roosevelt signed an act creating the United States Army Reserve. It was originally established to call medical officers into active duty in case of an emergency. 110 years ago today, in 1914, Wrigley Field opened in Chicago. believe it or not, it wasn't for the Cubs. The first team there was called the Chicago Whales, and of course they were from the Federal League. The Cubs played their first game there 2 years later, shortly after the Whales folded.
I did not know that.
70 years ago today. I never even heard of that league either.
I haven't either.
Usually you'll hear some of the
Federal
smaller
League?
Yeah, it's called the Federal League, yeah. 70 years ago today, speaking of baseball, in 1954, Hank Aaron hit his first home run of his career. 68 years ago today, here's a little tidbit for you if you're an Elvis fan. In 1956, Elvis played his first show in Las Vegas, and he bombed. He performed for 2 weeks at the new Frontier Hotel and felt so disconnected from the middle-aged audience, he didn't go back until 1969.
I've never even heard of the Frontier Hotel either.
I doubt that's there either. 60 years ago today, in 1964, Ken Johnson of the Houston Colt 45s became the first pitcher to throw a no-hitter and lose the game. How does that happen? Well, the Colt 45 lost 1-0
Say
to the
Colt 45?
Colt 45s.
Is that a beer?
Yeah. They lost 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds on an error in the ninth inning. So, of course, since it's not earned run, that's it. It's still a no-hitter. 39 years ago today, in 1985, Coca-Cola announced it was changing the secret formula to New Coke. Remember that debacle? What a debacle.
What was the year this was?
That was in 1985.
Okay, so this was after they took the cocaine out.
yeah. But I think
Another
it was 2
new
years.
recipe.
It was 2 years after they took out the real cocaine.
Got it, okay.
People hated New Coke so much that the company quickly pivoted and reintroduced Coca-Cola as Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah.
They dropped the word classic in the year 2009, believe it or not. They
I will
kept
tell
it
you what,
that
though.
long.
There's nothing better than that old school. And they call it Mexican Coca-Cola because they still keep the one with the sugar in it.
Right.
And now that you get in the small glass bottles.
A different version.
It
It has
is.
more sugar in
Well,
it.
it's just the Mexican Coca-Cola, which we call it. It just says Coca-Cola, but I guess that's how they make it, produce it in Mexico.
So
There's
they-
just something so much more different about it. It's a real deal.
They make it different, huh?
It's
I
a
didn't
real
know
deal.
that. I didn't know that. 35 years ago today, in 1989, with the first pick of the NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys even selected UCLA quarterback Troy Aikman. He led them to 3 Super Bowls and played for the Cowboys until he retired in the year 2000. And finally, 19 years ago today, in 2005, the very first YouTube video was posted. And, of course, it's the clip of one of the co-founders where he was at the San Diego Zoo and there's, like, elephants behind him and whatnot.
2005,
Yep,
huh?
believe it or not. Yep,
I would
that was
have
the very
put a
first.
timestamp on that a little bit later than that.
Wouldn't you have? It feels like it's been around longer
It
than that.
does.
But there it
Interesting.
is. 19 years we've had YouTube. And that's what happened on this day, April 23rd, to be specific, in our history.
Thank you so very much, Jimmy. Now, I always say you can participate, and we have somebody who's participating right now on the phone line.
We do. Lee has been very patient with us, and
Very.
thank you so much for that patience, Lee. Welcome to the Penthouse. How you doing today, pal?
I'm doing great. Good morning. This was basically just for Franny. My heart goes out to you with the dog.
Thank you.
And there is a supplement you can use. You can get it from your vet. It's called DASUQIN. It's Dasaquin.
Hold on, I'm writing that right now. DASUQIN. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. QUIN. I'm sorry.
You know what? I believe they gave us, I think they took us home, or we went home with this. I'm looking at the bag right now. It almost looks like a treat, but it's for joint health, and they did. They gave us that along with the pet medication.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard seeing an animal that seems in distress, but anything you can do to help.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And yes, thank you. I should have, I just by the name of it, but now that I'm looking at the packaging, they did send us home with that. So her mood is better. She's getting a little bit more playful. She's playing with the other dogs, but you can still tell she's not the same. So I really appreciate you reaching out. You know, they're like family members, so it's tough.
All right, Franny. You have a great day, and I wish you the best with her.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you for hanging on for that long.
Yeah, we've been giving King some supplements. Of course, his is more for age, just, like arthritis and joints, similar type thing. It almost looks like a little treat that I break up into his food each morning that we give him.
Yeah, so this is specifically, for joint health. But yeah, they did. And I do. I have a fantastic vet. But it's one of those things that for something that serious, we were like, all right, well, maybe we'll get a second opinion. I mean, they showed us the X-ray. I noticed something was different from the two hips, but. And they're probably steering us the right way. It's just when you hear a price point of like $15,000, you're like, all right, let's see if there's anything else. But
the price point and the simple fact of she's so young. I mean, I think that's the one thing that jumps out. You know, I mean, if you have a 14, 15, 16-year-old dog, well, you expect them to have a little bit of hip problem and, just like age and anything else. But she's so young, that doesn't seem normal
and
or
the poor
like normal
thing,
growth into adulthood.
And not even to get into, speaking of adulthood, the poor thing is like, what is happening? So she started her first menstrual cycle too. Around the same time.
That happens to dogs.
Yes. Is that not crazy?
I had no idea.
So we are getting her spayed, but they were recommended to wait after her first heat, her first menstrual cycle. And so this is the first time we've had to deal with it. And this is about normal as far as age. They say it happens anywhere between 1 year and 2 years for the big dogs. And so, so the same day that she had her incident, she started that. And so she's probably like, what is happening to my body right now?
So, I mean... pretty safe to say it has kind of a similar type of with your hormones, right? All right,
I don't know. Do they deal like we do?
So, I mean, a little bit. Well, the fact that she's so lethargic and everything. I mean, she
said that's the leg for sure. She just doesn't want to put it on her. But yeah, now this poor thing. Not only is she dealing with that, now she's got to wear a diaper around the house. She's like, this is so embarrassing. But not to get into it, but if you have female dogs, it does happen, and it lasts for almost a month.
Wow.
Which is yes, but with
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I really, because I've had 2 male dogs in my adult life.
Yep. So it lasts for almost a month, but it only happens every 6 to 12 months.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good thing. It's not like a monthly occurrence. If you think it'd be like it's her whole life if it lasts for a month. So yeah, this poor thing. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, we were told by the vets that our dog probably has to have a total hip replacement, which is really surprising, just seeing her age and stuff. So now I'm like, all right, now I got to get carpet in my house too because she's slipping and sliding everywhere. And that's one of those things with those, just with having hardwood floors, is that there's no traction whatsoever. So we do have another call in the penthouse. Who do we have, Jimmy?
We got our buddy Manny checking in with us. Hey, Manny, what's going on, pal?
Hey, guys, good morning.
Hi, Manny. What's up?
Hey, Franny, not much, another beautiful day in paradise.
It is nice. Yesterday wasn't so pretty. Last night was cool, though. I went outside and I was like, it's a little chill.
I was a little surprised, even this morning when I woke up and it was a little cool out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stayed up pretty late last night. I watched both those games. Man, it was, they were both nail biters.
Yeah, I tell you what, I want to say about 3 minutes or so of that Nuggets game. I watched those highlights this morning, boy, and I tell you, I'm not typically much of a basketball fan, but that'll make you one.
Yeah, because still with 6 minutes left, the Nuggets, I think, were still down by 10 or more. So they just kept chipping because they were down by a bunch.
Yep.
Kept chipping at it, and yeah, it was exciting. And yeah, this morning when I woke up a little bit late, and still, oh shoot! You get
Are you all right?
Yeah, you get no, somebody almost crashed in front of me.
Oh.
I wake up in the morning sometimes and I go to my patio to take my breathing exercises, and
Yeah, a little Tai Chi, or are you smoking the bong? What's up? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Breathing exercises. That's what we're calling it now, Manny.
Yeah, I'm expanding my lungs. I have asthma.
Oh, okay.
And I usually feel the patio because it's like a screened-in porch patio.
Okay.
You feel the humidity first thing in the morning.
Oh, all right.
So this morning, it was kind of surprising. It felt real good. And it's going to be like in the mid-70s, so yeah, that's beautiful weather.
I'm down with that. It was brutally hot over the weekend, so I'll take this little hit.
And enjoy it before we get back up into more humidity.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah. I thought it was starting this past weekend, so I didn't realize we were going to have another cool front come through. But hey, no complaints here.
Hey Jimmy, this is the first time I've talked to you since I saw you at the tasting. And I was impressed, man. You got a nice set of legs there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Manny.
Oh, I've never seen your legs. You're always wearing pants. I mean, You're not wearing pants, but I can't see you from over here.
Yeah, that's why I stay hidden back here.
Yeah. How was it, Manny? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good.
I got a little bit of everything. I even had a little bit of wine, which I don't do much at all.
Okay.
But my buddy that I took, he's more into the wine, so he's like, oh, this one's real good. Taste it. And I was like, it tastes like any other wine I ever tasted.
Yeah, people who aren't really wine drinkers tend to think that, but I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. And again, thank you guys for those tickets. And hopefully I get to see you guys soon out and about again.
Yeah, definitely.
Sunfest is coming up, so
we'll be there.
Keep an ear for that because we'll let you know when we'll be there at different times and different days. So obviously that's a 3-day event there.
It is. I do know that
so.
Real Radio will be representing on Saturday at some point, but that's when we'll be there.
For the show. Well, you guys have a great Tuesday.
All right, you too, Manny. Thank you
Manny.
for calling in.
Thanks for giving us a call. Yeah, that tasting event. Boy, that was a lot of fun. We had a good time there.
It'll be happening again. We do it twice a year nowadays, so the next one will be in the fall, and of course, we will give you the heads up. So I got some text messages in.
Oh, all right.
47142. Started off with Real Radio. Jimmy was talking about things that you could sell for parts.
Right.
Cars, which we know. Computers. There was a few other things on here, and we were asking, well, how do you clean out a computer, right?
Sure.
So just in case you're selling parts, you don't want people to know your history or any of your important information. So we have a couple of text messages. Let's see. Some of these are not real. Jimmy, what I use to wipe my computer clean is Charmin Ultra Strong. So clearly does not work.
Well, no, I need the outside matters too. So thank you very much.
Cell phone, computer, same thing. Get your registry cleared, problem solved.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have somebody else that says, depends on the hard drive. You have to enter is it BIOS or BIOS?
Right.
BIOS on startup, either by rapidly pressing F2, F10, delete.
Okay.
Or escape key, or just tap them all continuously. Okay. I don't know if this is legitimate, but this is the text we're getting.
I'm not so sure about that one.
I don't know. That's how I play Mortal Kombat. I just slam on every key.
Yeah.
Every
Something's
control.
gonna work eventually.
Exactly. I'm like, wow, how did I do that move? And then we were talking about Mexican or Coca-Cola. You brought up how they changed because people are upset about the Coca-Cola.
The new Coke.
Ingredient. And somebody agrees. They're like, yes, I'm with you, Franny. Mexican Coke is the best. Here we go. Coca-Cola from Mexico is made with real cane sugar instead of the high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, okay.
A little healthier and so much better. Thank you. And that's from Edgar. So thank you very much.
That sounds like, did you ever hear that soda Jolt Cola? Jolt? Jolt?
I've seen it, but I've not ever tried it.
I think their slogan was with real sugar and twice the caffeine or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I need twice the caffeine.
But the big thing was the fact that it tasted so much better because they used real sugar. So that I can understand what you're saying then.
Yep, so that's what it is. It's got the real sugar. Thank you, real cane sugar in there. And then somebody's asking, I don't know, but our buddy, Q says, hey, are you guys having transmitter issues? Station keeps cutting out for several minutes and then comes back on. Not on the app, but the radio. Of course, it's just when things are getting good. So kind of like when you're alone in your room and you're just about to cross the finish line and then your mom walks in. Just like that, Hugh.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
Just like that. So we are having.
I'm going to edit myself there.
We're having a little bit of issues.
Yeah, well, technical issues happen from time to time, unfortunately. So if you put us on the iHeart Radio app on your phone, there you don't have to worry about it at all. You can get us all the time, anywhere you go.
And I love this. Thank you so much for doing our work for us. It says, "What's going on, Penthouse?" I drove a bunch of cars at the Barrett-Jackson show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So cool. So we broadcasted there before, but always from the outside. And we broadcasted outside last time. And this was years ago, the last time we did when Johnny C., who was our former host, was with us.
Okay.
And I never went inside because it just always left. But after the fact, I went inside to check out the auction. I've never been to an auction. I've just seen them on TV. It is really cool. It is. It's one of those things, if you've never been to an auto auction or anything, I highly recommend. And they're here once a year. But I love this. They say I drove a bunch of cars at the Barrett-Jackson show, and I put everyone or all of them at the radio that worked on the cars. He put them all on 92.1.
Ah, nice. All
Love
the presets. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Love you. And then thank you very much. It says, sorry about your baby. Same issues with mine. We started glucosamine for inflammation and MSM. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, for soothing joint pain, and it changed my girl from an old lady back to a happy little puppy again.
Good.
So thank you very much for that. I will definitely write that down. And this is not true. Mexican cola is so good because they use polluted water. That's not facts.
No,
it's not facts.
You sure about that?
And then with the how we were kind of making fun of the one with the F2 delete, F10, F2, and then just delete tapping. Right. They responded back, and they were like, no, it's legit. I had the black screen of death on my computer, and it fixed it by just entering those bios.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we were so it fixed it. I mean, what I was talking about
we're trying to clear it
out.
Right.
If you just to completely wipe out the drive. Now, I did get one email in, Jimmy@realradio921.com, and this person says they have exactly what we're looking for, and it's a thumb drive, but basically what it is their software called Kill Disk, and apparently it's something even our military uses that you can boot it up and like you would boot up in safe mode. Well, you kind of boot it up through the USB drive, and you can, again, it goes into that DOS side of the computer, and apparently it can clean it out. So that I guess is the way. So I did a quick search for it online just to see if I could read up on it a little bit. And it was one of those things that I started like, this thing can wipe out all your, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to click on these links.
Right.
I don't know if it'll start wiping out the computer that I'm on here. So, but I appreciate that, Bill, for sending in that email to Jimmy@realradio921.com. And again, I just, it's something that just being cautious was the idea behind it. Along the lines too, when we were talking about that some things that you could sell for parts and whatnot, lawnmowers and old lawn equipment. That's another thing too that I bet you can probably get a couple bucks for some parts on there.
Yeah, and if you know of any, 47142, just start that text off with Real Radio.
Sorry, I just did a squirrel. I was like, something came into my mind as we were talking about that.
It happens on this show. So we weren't able to get into the why you should not request $2, but we will absolutely do that. We do have a keyword coming your way in about 10 minutes. You're going to listen to Rover from our morning show, Rover's Morning Glory. He will get you a keyword. That keyword you enter into realradio921.com. You could possibly score $1,000. We already have two winners.
Two winners. Yep. Sherry won $1,000 and Melanie won last week as well. We had two winners from Port St. Lucie. They both won $1,000 from the Grand in Your Hand giveaway here on Real Radio. And they got the keyword and they went to realradio921.com and they entered that keyword and they won $1,000.
I love it. And this looks like this is a lucky time because that keyword that they won was the 11 o'clock hour keyword.
Both times.
Yeah, both times, which is the next one. So let's do it again. Let's have a trifecta, as G-Man would say, of Real Radio listeners. And we come back. I do have Florida stories coming your way. Why was this woman tied to a chair? I will let you know. Then we have a very unique golden retriever puppy that was born right here in the state of Florida. And a prison guard jailed for a love child situation. Yep, I have those stories and more coming your way on Real Radio 92.1.
Got something to say? Text us at 47142. Start your message with Real Radio. Standard data and message rates apply, and don't text while driving.
Hi, everyone. I'm Doug Plagans, radio voice of your Florida Panthers. The Panthers host the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight for Game 2 of their first-round best-of-7 Stanley Cup playoff series. The Panthers lead the series 1-0. We'll have all the action tonight, beginning with Panthers preview at 7. The puck drops at 7:30 at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. We're giving you 13 shots a day to score $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe it. Woo! Every weekday from 9:05 in the morning to 9:05 at night, we're giving you a keyword at 5 past the hour. Take that keyword and enter it at realradio921.com. Every keyword is worth $1,000.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
It's $1,000 in your hand. Good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
The Grand in Your Hand on Real Radio is sponsored by Greenway Kia.
Head on over to Greenway West Palm Beach Kia right now for the largest selection of new, fuel-efficient 2024 Kias. They're overstocked and highly motivated to make you an incredible deal, because we want to see you in a West Palm Beach Kia.
Here's traffic on Real Radio.
A decent drive along your expressway so far. 95 and the Turnpike are looking pretty good so far, and accident-free, flowing freely as well. We do have construction here on Lakeview Avenue westbound after Flagler Drive. That'll be blocking your left lane. That's traffic. I'm Ricky Rousseau.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
How do we stop the spread of anti-Semitism? This week on Red Pilled America, we answer that question by telling the story of the epic battle between Candace Owens and the Daily Wire. Listen to Red Pilled America wherever you get podcasts. That's Red Pilled America.
I'm
getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, it's the Greek for Jason Weiser, my attorney. Whether you were injured due to a car accident or a medical malpractice issue, a slip and fall, or any kind of injury due to a fault of another, their team can help you. Board-certified personal injury attorneys. They can help you determine the responsibility party and pursue the damages and justice you deserve. Contact them at 561-689-8180, 561-689-8180. No fees unless they win. Jason Weiser, my attorney for over 20 years.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Does your garage door ever go down part way and then just stop, just to frustrate you? Or stop and go back, just when you thought it was finally going to close? That's the proximity detector, and it's designed to save your life, so don't get mad yet. That sophisticated piece of light sensor technology is like NASA-level rocket science in your very own house. And you don't have to live in a space station, but you do need to fix it if you want the thing to close. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our garage door experts know exactly how to get your technology working the way it should. We can recalibrate or replace faulty components so you can dock your spaceship every night after a busy day exploring the final frontier. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and make it right. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it is still science.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like One Hit Wonders.
This is the story of a
Just search One Hit Wonders and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Real Radio weather.
From the Gordon Partners Weather Center, have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
Continuing that warm up throughout the afternoon, we'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s for our highs today. Cloudless sky overnight tonight as we cool back down. Upper 60s and low 70s for our overnight lows. High pressure settles in over the next few days, keeping our temperatures right around where they should be for this time of year, in the low 80s for our highs.
This report is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
What could you do in 15 minutes? How about a premium oil change? At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, our certified technicians will guide you in, use only premium products, and get you back out on the road in no time. Quick, easy, trusted. That's Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. For $1,000 now. Enter the nationwide keyword BANK at realradio921.com. That's BANK. Enter it now at realradio921.com, and good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
To the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Welcome back into the Penthouse. Hopefully you just caught that keyword that Rover gave you from our morning show, Rover's Morning Glory. And if you don't, I'm feeling really, really generous today. I will give it to you once again because I understand sometimes you
Give it to me, Franny.
I'm going to give it to you. Sometimes you can't be by your radio at all times.
Give it to me, baby.
And that keyword was bank. BANK. Take bank. Enter it to realradio921.com. We want 3 winners here on Real Radio. We already have 2. The 11 o'clock hour keyword, that's the sweet spot. For some reason, that's where our winners have been winning with that 11 o'clock keyword. So let's do it again. Enter the word bank at realradio921.com. And we always tell you, if somebody calls you, it's an unknown name, or maybe a 513 area code, maybe it says absolutely nothing there. Pick up the phone because that's your only opportunity. We will not call you again to let you know that you were the $1,000 winner. They just go on to the next person. And we got a text saying, thank you so much for letting me know, and always saying that because I wouldn't have picked up the phone.
Sure.
And I did.
Yeah, commonly, we don't do that now, right?
Yep.
If we don't know what the number is, we let it go to voicemail.
I
and
do.
Unfortunately, they're not going to let you. But yeah, well, so do I.
But
actually.
I know I can't win $1,000.
But,
So,
if you know you send in that keyword, that'd be the time to pick it up. And
Yes.
good luck, because we want you to win. We want a third winner.
Let's
I know
do it.
we're being greedy.
We are.
We got 2.
Yeah.
We still want more.
Hey, we're winning over here in this iHeartRadio facility, so let's keep on winning. We do not have G-Man with us today. He will be with us tomorrow, but you do have me. Hello, I'm Franny. Of course, that's Jimmy. Good morning, Jimmy.
Hello, and good morning.
And we have you. You can participate in so many ways, but let's get into some Florida stories.
Florida.
Florida.
Did you say
Florida?
I'm from Florida.
WTF.
What the Florida?
So,
all right, Jethro, what's going on out there?
This guy looks like a Jethro. So an 89-year-old man was arrested after a maid found his wife tied to a chair in a room at the Brownwood Hotel and Spa in the Villages.
Wow.
So you go to the Villages, you're like, was this kind of freaky stuff going on? We don't know. But no, there was a member of the housekeeping staff who found the woman tied to the chair. They said that she was alone in the room, extremely disheveled and confused. A white belt was used to secure her left arm to the chair, while trash bags had been used to tie each of her feet to the chair. In addition, the law enforcement there, who was summoned to the scene, said the EMS found the woman who couldn't even answer any general questions due to her severe memory loss. Very sad. Video surveillance did capture at the hotel captured the man, the woman's husband, Christopher Sessa, roaming around the hotel around 11 o'clock that morning. They said when police interviewed him, he complained that someone at the hotel staff dimed him out.
Dimed him out?
Yeah, because they called the cops on him.
Oh.
Yeah, they dimed him out. How dare they contact the police?
Sounds like he's not playing with a full deck either.
No, he said him and his wife have been married for 60 years. and that he was trying to do his best, he said, so she wouldn't be able to hurt herself by falling or anything like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. If there was some good intentions there, just, but he's not obviously not all with it either.
He said he knew it wasn't the right choice by restraining her. But he said, at that point he didn't. Unfortunately, it still doesn't matter. It doesn't. He's still going to jail. They split their time between New Jersey and Boca Raton, according to the cops, and he was arrested on charges of false imprisonment and elder abuse and booked into the Sumter County Jail. And like he said, he realized it wasn't the brightest thing, but in his head, he was just like, I don't know what else to do if I'm leaving the room. So one of those sad situations. Yep. And then we're going to stay in the Villages area. There is a former, at least Sumter County, a former prison guard who is now being held without bond. And the reason why? Well, she gave birth. Like, all right, well, what's the crime there? She gave birth to an inmate's love child, they say. Rachel Drum of Yalaha. Don't know where that is.
Yeah, right there. It's next to Yolo Ho.
Yalaha, Florida. Is hanging out the Sumter County Detention Center on felony charges of sexual misconduct. She had been a guard at the Florida Department of Corrections over there at Sumter. And back in 2020, she had some sexy time with the inmate, Jonathan Marrero, who is currently serving a sentence through 2025, not that long, for robbery with a weapon. I mean, why couldn't you have just waited a few years? If you guys were in love. Drum admitted to a friend that she had sexual intercourse with him. And yes, she gave birth to a child. Excuse me, on the birth certificate, she listed Marrero as a baby's last name. That's the guy. They said that about a week after the baby's birth, she started sending photos of the infant to Marrero through, they say it's called JPay, inmate email account.
Right.
She sent him videograms, all this stuff, encouraging the child to say goodnight to Dada. She also posted pictures of the baby on Facebook. So there was a warrant issue. People were like over their detention center, like, what's going on here? So a warrant was issued to obtain DNA samples from her and the child. And they said she became aware of the warrant and successfully evaded service of the warrant for a while. Finally, they caught up to her. They made her do it. And they found out that, he was the father. You are the father.
Not allowed to do that.
No, I guess you can't have sex with inmates. It's not. And that right there is, that's evidence.
Yep.
The baby itself.
Pretty solid evidence, too.
That is evidence. Then an adorable thing, you know how much I like my Goldens, but a green Golden?
Green?
Yep, a green Golden.
Oh, boy.
A puppy named Shamrock was born in Florida. They say that this unusual coloration is due to a rare occurrence where the puppy was stained in the womb by, sounds gross, but green bile pigment.
Oh, no kid.
Yeah. Although this is a temporary color and it is really rare, it's not unheard of. All the other pups that came out looked normal. They were all that very light kind of like what you think of a golden retriever looking like. But one came out the unique shade of green. And they were like, what the heck is going on? So, of course, they shared this to TikTok, has gained millions of views. Dog lovers around the world are captivated by this puppy's distinctive color. They said that since it has gotten a bit older, that key lime green hue has faded. But I'm sure in the beginning, you're like, what the hell is going on? Do I have a radioactive puppy? Yeah. And then finally here, in your What the Florida. Okay, so this one is a long story and I'm going to make it short. But you know that crazy story. We really haven't talked about it that much, but about the woman who got carjacked. She lived down in Homestead, Florida, but it was up in Central Florida.
Okay.
And then they found her body in the car. It was lit on fire in flames.
Oh,
do you know which one I'm talking about?
Not really. No.
Oh, okay. So this made news, and it was pretty big news because it was a mystery. They're like, what the hell is happening? There's video. There was a phone call made to her husband at the time where she's in the car scared for her life. She's like, this car keeps on bumping me, and they're following me. And everybody's like, why didn't they call the cops? And he, basically the husband was like, whatever you do, just keep on going. But no phone call was made for the cops. And then they found out it was her. Her body was, they said shot and then burned in the vehicle.
Wow.
But you watch this, you can see the whole carjacking. You can see all that happen in video. Yeah. So really.
What was the video? A dash cam or something? Or
that or surveillance or somebody. But yeah, so there's twists and turns and connections to this because when they were asking, well, what was she doing up in that area? Winter Springs, area because that's not where she's from. They're like, oh, she's visiting family. But then later on, her family, they were like, she doesn't have family up there.
Right, all right.
So then it was like, all right, is this some kind of drug thing inside whatever? Is she a mule? Like, what is happening here? Was she moving drugs? It looks like that. So they said the video was caught by a witness, which is weird. Like, you would think the witness would have called 911 seeing something weird happening there.
Well, we don't think about that. We think about the filming it first now.
And if you haven't seen it, it shows an armed man in a black hoodie and a mask pointing a weapon at the driver of a white Durango before getting to the back driver's side door. They said that that same evening, an hour after the initial sighting, witnesses reported hearing gunshots, and then a vehicle was later discovered on fire with a burned body inside, which was Catherine Altagracia, this very long name. And so they started looking into it and trying to see what was going on. Said her husband reportedly received a phone call from her when she realized that she was being followed by a green Acura and ramming her bumper. That's the point where you call the cops, right? So that's why they're like, all right, there's something suspicious. Why haven't I called the cops? So to find out, they ended up arresting a couple of people, and they said there's some suspects that they want to explore, but they said that they definitely think that this is drug related. So there was a lamp that was sealed up pretty good. It looked like a lamp you never would have known there was anything in it. Well, they found out that that lamp, by the way, had a bunch of drugs in it. And so it looks like she was...
It's like in the trunk of the car or something.
She was transporting it.
Right.
Yeah. So the claims is that, so this lamp had like cocaine in it, and so obviously this was these people trying to interject or cut her off, and then take that and then burn her body. But the cops ended up following and where the drugs were going to get dropped off at. And they saw a lady taking the lamp, and they interjected, and she was like, oh, I got this, on Amazon or whatever.
Right.
And I was just waiting for this to get delivered. They knew. They had their canines and everything. So this definitely, the story, we're getting a little bit more and more about it, but it definitely was something drug related.
Some sort of,
and this woman was running the drugs somewhere, and somebody interjected and got them.
Trying to steal it.
Crazy,
or maybe
they
she
obviously
stole it
knew.
from somebody.
They obviously knew what was going on. Yep. And just a nutty story. But that is your What the Florida. 47142. That is the text line.
All right, Franny, I'm going to set up this next topic for us.
Please.
$2. $2. All right.
My $2. Why can't I have it?
I love that. And yes, we are talking about $2. And look, I'm showing you mine. We have Real TV. Brought to you by our friend Jason Weiser, attorney at law. Look, see, my $2. I have a few of them. I carry them, but I've never gotten one from the bank.
Right.
This is from customers working in the bar industry, and I hold on to them because for some reason I just think that they're good luck, or I'll give them to my niece or something like that because
a lot of people thought it was a good luck charm. Or again, you get some of the ones like for the Easter Bunny, right? You can get your, like the grandkids, we could get them Easter Bunny. Or Christmas ones with Santa on it instead of a president.
Mm-hmm. So
and they're legit, too.
They are, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
They're currency. You can spend it however you want.
Sure.
Well, as long as it's $2 or less. So, yes, there's a bank teller if you have these $2 or want them. And for those of you who don't know that, $2 bills are still a thing, and they're still being printed. Which I did not realize that.
I thought they weren't being printed anymore, and whatever was out there is out there.
Me
but
too.
Apparently they are, huh?
Yeah. They said,
so
however.
Why shouldn't you get one?
Yep, they said it doesn't mean you should go running out to the bank and get a bunch of them. In fact, a bank teller has 9 specific reasons why you shouldn't.
All right.
So they say, first of all, it's plain and simple. Many banks don't even have them. But if they're getting printed, interesting.
All right.
Where are they at?
Well,
They also say bank drawers typically aren't designed for bills other than the traditional 1, 5, 10, 20 setup.
Oh,
so I get
right.
It. Like the actual, the
I know
actual
what you
drawer
mean.
itself.
Yeah.
And it is true. I've worked with a lot of drawers. They said that they, I've not like worked for the, you know what I mean?
I'm not the only one that thought it.
You know what I mean? They also say they put a wrench in our flow, according to this is a bank teller.
Really?
I guess so. This one too. we know that some people just in general can't do math or count. We've seen people work registers that aren't too bright with it. But they say they baffled the newbies who maybe haven't even seen one. It's like, this isn't real.
I've seen that. I've seen plenty of stories where you try to use it as currency and this is fake. What are you doing?
Yep. And that's one of the things on here.
Right.
People think they're fake.
Right.
Yep, that was added on there. Say more people save them than spend them. They say thinking they might be more valuable than just $2, and I'm one of those stupid people. But they're like, that's dumb. Don't save it. Don't spend it if you're going to spend it because it's not more valuable. I'm sure like anything else, like there's certain years.
Okay, right. So some people just automatically, just because it's a $2 bill, they think it might have more value to it.
And this person has seen people go into the bank and be like, this is worth more than $2. And they're like, no, ma'am, it's not. It's just $2.
$2 currency.
Yes.
That's all that it is. But but like you say, there could be ones out there that were rare circulated ones that might have a little value to it, like any other coin or bill.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these are kind of the same thing repeating itself all over again. They said they can slow down transactions, and just in general, they're not worth the fuss that some people make over them. And I do get that. And that's according to GoBankingRates.com. But one particular bank teller says, hey, it's just not worth it. Especially if you go in and when I was reading into this article more, she said that she's had people go in and cash checks and specifically want them all in $2 bills. And they're like, why? Like, what are you going to do with this?
That does seem a bit bizarre. And it's funny because when you first were kind of setting up the story, I was under the impression that you were going to go down the road like there was a detrimental reason why you don't want to use them or get them. I mean, to me, like I said, the only time we ever did is maybe for the grandkids or like the tooth fairy might, or when our little ones or that aren't so little anymore were younger. But I didn't realize that there are people out there to use it as regular currency because it's very rare that I've ever seen one in just general circulation.
Yeah, I agree. And I didn't realize that they were still in circulation either. But yeah, speaking of money, somebody decided that they were going to try to purchase something with something else other than money.
A 40-year-old man in Colorado named Eugene Robertson was found guilty of multiple charges, including a bizarre interaction at a Burger King. This is back in 2022.
I feel like there's always bizarre interactions at Burger King.
Oh, yeah. There's something about these fast food joints, right? So apparently, not $2 bills aren't the only thing that you really don't want to pay something for. He had gone through the drive-thru and offered to pay with a baggie of drugs instead. That's right. He tried to buy a Whopper with meth. The employee refused, so Eugene pulled a gun on him.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, very. He didn't shoot, but he did drive off. Then he tried pulling a similar stunt at a 7-Eleven across the street. So got done with the Burger King, couldn't get his food there with a...
Is he on 45th Street? Because we have one of those right across from each other, a Burger King and a 7-Eleven.
Is that really? Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, we have the Burger King right there.
This is Colorado. I didn't think anything about it.
Are they always across from each other?
This is true. You know what? I just put two and two together for me.
Interesting.
Apparently, he didn't work at Burger King, so he goes across the street to 7-Eleven. He tried pulling a similar stunt there. He pulled a gun on a 7-Eleven employee.
Was he trying to get a Slurpee or something?
That time he did fire because apparently they didn't want the bag of meth either.
Jeez.
A witness pulled out a gun and fired back, and there was a brief little gunfight. So no one was hit, fortunately. Eugene did shoot out a surveillance camera, though. And, of course, he drove off again. About 15 minutes later, he was shooting into an apartment where his friend lived. Guess he was mad at him, too. The woman, actually, I should say her, the woman who lived there said that Eugene was knocked out, but she refused. So he goes up to the door. He tries knocking on the door.
Okay.
She wouldn't answer. She refused to answer the door. I don't know if he was belligerent or whatnot. So, that's when he decided to shoot at her. The police showed up and found Eugene in the bushes. And, of course, he was arrested. The cops asked him if he was okay, and he said he was not physically hurt, but his feelings were hurt.
Why? Because he couldn't get what? He couldn't get a burger
or
a bag of meth?
Something tells me he was probably high on that meth, too.
Interesting.
He was convicted of attempted first-degree murder, menacing, reckless endangerment, illegal discharging of a firearm, possession of meth, and harassment. He's facing up to 400 years in prison. So
400 years.
Yeah. When you rack up all those charges
Jesus.
together.
Now, I don't know if this is going to be a far reach, but you think he was on meth when he did all this stuff?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, when you see all this, he must have had some of it before he was trying to use it as currency. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, I don't think that we're reaching too far for that.
Not at all.
47142, that's our text line. You can participate that way. We have on here somebody who's like, you can buy uncut sheets of $2 bills. I said, actually, any currency. Said, I've always wanted to get one small enough to frame. I did not know that either.
Oh, I don't know. Get like a $1 bills one, so it's not so expensive, but a sheet? Really?
Yeah. They said, I've always wanted to get one small enough to frame. Where can you get it? At the bank? Where do you go? Where do you go for this stuff?
Yeah, really.
Where do you go for a full sheet? Let us know. Then we have the most popular pre-owned item people can sell to make extra yen in Japan.
Oh, boy.
Are panties.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yes, just panties. And then somebody's giving me a good idea because my pup's got some hip issues that won't be fixed on its own. Unfortunately, it's going to have some she's going to need surgery. But they said Franny used yoga mats and place some in her pathways for now. This will help tremendously. It's helped us out a lot. Thank you. And I do have a handful of those at the house in my gym, so maybe we'll lay those out in her normal path of destruction, I call it. And then we have a text that says, Franny, tell us about your tattoo, please. Now, I'm guessing you're asking about the one on my arm because you can't see any of my other ones. Because if you're watching Real TV.
Oh, is that it? Somebody seen it on camera?
I guess so.
Thanks
so watching
to
Real
Jason Weiser?
Yes, Real TV. Yes, sure. Why not? I have a tattoo on my arm, and it's got magnolias because that is from where I'm from, Georgia, magnolias. And when growing up, we had a massive magnolia tree in our backyard. And my sisters and I, we were little monkeys. We would climb that thing every single day. Even my dad would hide our Easter egg baskets up in the tree because that was like our favorite pastime. We'd be in there day and night.
Sure.
So that was it. So that's because of that. And then I integrated the Jupiter Lighthouse in it because that is where I got engaged to my husband. So a little bit of both. I've always said I would never put a name on me. And so it is obviously for my marriage and for my husband.
Right.
But
That's
I'm
as
just
close as you would get.
kiss of death, man. I don't know. I just can't do it. I've seen it happen. I told you that my girlfriend, her ex, put her name huge on his chest. And I mean huge. Ex, right? They were together for a while, got divorced, and his new lady in his life took him to go get a cover-up.
Right.
To go get this big, she didn't want to stare at her name, I'm sure.
Who would want to?
So, right? So she goes and helps him pay for this cover-up. Guess what he does?
Broke up with her.
No.
Went back to the ex.
No, he put her name, the new girl's name, underneath the cover-up. And I'm like, are you glad for punishment? Like, what
exactly.
are you doing?
Yeah. So when did they break up?
They're still together.
Are they really?
But
all right.
But still, like, I'm just like, what are you doing? And then there was this great story I talked about last week on the Gator, which I do mornings on. But they this woman got her boyfriend's name, and it's real this time, tattooed on her forehead.
Right.
And he basically gave her like a thanks or, oh, that's so sweet. So it said, woman gives puts boyfriend's name tattooed on her forehead, talks about on TikTok. He gives her yogurt. Thank you.
Thanks.
Here's a thing of frozen yogurt.
Here you go. Here's a froyo for you.
Or even, right? You got my name tattooed on your forehead. Here's froyo.
Did he spring for the nuts?
I mean, I would hope so. Give me nuts and sprinkles.
A little chocolate syrup, too.
Yes. You load that thing up. I want it when they put it on those scales at that froyo place. That's like a $20 frozen yogurt.
Ooh, what's your favorite topping? Mine's the Oreo cookie crumbles.
Oh, that's good. I try not to because, try to be healthy if I'm getting froyo. Yeah. But if I'm going to, I'm getting peanut butter cups.
Froyo, another one. Yes, okay.
Yes.
Froyo, another one of those things that came out as this is a healthy alternative to ice cream.
I like to tell myself that. Shh. Don't tell me it's not. I like to tell myself that.
Okay.
But it is that time where we are coming back with another trifecta. We do not have Greek in the house, but Jimmy's going to handle that. And set your alarm clocks for 11:45 because that's the time that we always do our giveaway. And this time around, thank you.
Nice. I want to win ticket or a New York Prime gift card.
Yes, $125 gift card to New York Prime, 11:45. I'm guessing probably easiest to play He Said, She Said.
Absolutely. Yep. I refreshed the list this morning, so I got a whole fresh list of He Said, She Said.
I love it. So that's coming your way and more on the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the News Junkie.
Third season premiere of The Morning Show on Apple TV and the series premiere of The Other Black Girl on Hulu.
I hope that's what it's called.
It's called that. Of course, why would I say that?
The News Junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
A decent drive along your expressway so far. 95 and the Turnpike are looking pretty good so far, and accident-free, flowing freely as well. We do have construction here on Lakeview Avenue westbound after Flagler Drive. That'll be blocking your left lane. That's traffic. I'm Ricky Rousseau.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Hey, it's the Greek, and it's Monroe's at Palm Beach, where 7 days a week you find the beautiful girls and a great atmosphere and a 5-star menu. And Friday night is Fetish Fridays. Make sure you get there on a Friday to kick off your weekend. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. That's where all the beautiful ladies are, and they will make you feel like a winner. Stop in Monroe 7 days a week and enjoy yourself and have a beautiful lady by your side. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. Make sure it's on your agenda. It's always on mine. Peace.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey there, it's Franny. Selling your car just got easier than ever with GiveMeTheVin.com. Are you ready to pocket the most cash for your used car hassle-free? Because who doesn't love more money with less stress? GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer for a reason. They'll beat your written CarMax offer or cut you a check for $100. It's that simple. Plus, they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and backed by thousands of online reviews. Sell your car the easy way with GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Does your garage door ever go down part way and then just stop just to frustrate you? Or stop and go back just when you thought it was finally going to close? That's the proximity detector. And it's designed to save your life, so don't get mad yet. That sophisticated piece of light sensor technology is like NASA-level rocket science in your very own house. And you don't have to live in a space station, but you do need to fix it if you want the thing to close. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our garage door experts know exactly how to get your technology working the way it should. We can recalibrate or replace faulty components so you can dock your spaceship every night after a busy day exploring the final frontier. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and make it right. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it is still science.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
When the optimistic Billy Halpern meets a suspicious end, authorities focus on an ex-cop turned criminal, but the investigation goes nowhere for decades. Listen to the podcast Cold-Blooded as 2 investigators uncover a shocking motive in the pursuit of justice for Billy Halpern.
He was good looking, he was funny, everyone liked him. It's just a shame that they took him from us.
Listen to Cold-Blooded on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Cold-Blooded to start listening.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America NA.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm Ben Ferguson. And I'm Ted Cruz. Israel strikes back, attacking Iran. We explain what's happening right now.
Plus, the Attorney General admits that fentanyl is the worst drug threat in American history, and yet our borders are open.
Download Verdict with Ted Cruz wherever you get your podcasts.
For more information about contests on the station, visit realradio921.com/rules.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Progressive Insurance.
The margin for error in the postseason is razor thin. In order to knock off a top seed, you need to capitalize off their mistakes. LA and Philly both failed to do so last night after blowing commanding leads late in the fourth quarter. With stars like Joel Embiid and LeBron James, you can't rule out a comeback from either of these two teams. But if either team wants to advance to the second round, they're going to have to start capitalizing off the higher seeds' mistakes. I'm Dan Patrick.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Hi, I'm Graham Class, host of Technically Speaking, an Intel podcast. Join me for Season 2 as we explore the future of technology evolving today. In each episode, I'll speak with the minds transforming medicine, healthcare, retail, entertainment, personal computing, and more with the help of AI. Join me every other Tuesday and explore the latest technology changing our world today and creating a more accessible tomorrow. Listen to Technically Speaking, an Intel podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Greek Trifecta is sponsored by Jason Weiser, attorney at law.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast.
That's $2. $2. I want my $2!
You're listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, you are, and we always appreciate you tuning in to the Penthouse. And we love you listening, but we love you participating even more, and you can do that so many ways. You can call us, 877-927-6969. You can leave us a talkback. We love this feature. It's where you leave us just a little voice message, memo, whatever you want to call it. You just have to have the iHeartRadio app, search for Real Radio 921, click on the microphone icon, record it, and then we will play it on air. Of course, we have a text line right in front of me, 47142, started off with Real Radio. And to the guy to the left of me, he has an email, jimmy@realradio921.com. We do not have Greek with us today. We will have him tomorrow. But we still got a little taste of Greek here, of course, because our giveaway at 11:45 is going to be a $125 gift card to New York Prime. You know that is Greek's favorite steakhouse. This is Franny. Of course, we have Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello and good morning.
And Jimmy has a trifecta for you.
All right, let's do it.
It's Greek Trifecta.
Let's get into it because I know our NBA fans out there are super excited. We've got 2-0s all across the spectrum, and Jamal Murray was part of that last night. He hit a buzzer beater and gave the Nuggets a 101-99 victory over the Lakers last night. Poor guy didn't even see it happen, too, as he's throwing the ball up there, and as he falls back into the benches with his fellow teammates. And
it just makes it an even more incredible play, right?
Absolutely. Didn't even know it hit until he heard the roar of the crowd. So, of course, we could watch it on replay. They were down by 20 or so near the half, and they came back and had a big win there against the Lakers.
I have a trivia for you.
Oh, what's that?
Well, it's not really trivia because
Right.
the answer is right there. Who's the team whose mascot gets paid the most money?
There you go. Right
the Denver
there, right?
Nuggets, right?
Yeah, it was 600 something. We keep talking about that from time to time.
What
like,
is he? I know he's like some kind of cat, right?
Is that it?
I think he's
I'm not sure. I never looked it up.
He's not a nugget.
He's not a nugget? I was going to say.
Rocky the Mountain Lion.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Denver leads that series 2-0, as I had mentioned, and they go for Game 3 in Los Angeles on Thursday nights. By the way, speaking of basketball, the Knicks also won last night. They 104-101, and Cleveland, they beat Orlando 96-86. Marlins dropped one last night to the Brave 3-0. You can hear the Marlins on 1230 The Gambler. And big news in the NFL. The Jets traded Zach Wilson to Denver. It's finally over.
Good luck, Denver.
I think they got a bag of balls.
Oh,
if
really?
I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
All right, nice.
Yeah. So
Denver has been like waiting to unload those bag of balls for some.
Yeah, I think like a 6th-round pick or something like that. But Zach Wilson will now be playing for the Denver Broncos. And I'll just finish this up real quick, too, with trifecta. Just to remind everybody that playoff hockey is going to continue tonight. The Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 2. They're up 1-0 against Tampa Bay. They beat them 3-2 the other night. And, of course, you can catch that game right here on Real Radio. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. tonight. So, if you're driving around, you can't watch it, you can always listen to it right here on Real Radio. And that is your second trifecta of the day.
Thank you so very much. And we have somebody who texted in 47142. And if you can do us a solid, Jimmy, it says, hey, Penthouse, anyway, you can repeat the 11 a.m. keyword. I appreciate it. Love y'all. And we can do that, right?
Absolutely. Go to realradio921.com. Now, a little window pops right up for you. You don't even have to go searching for it. And you're going to enter the keyword bank, B-A-N-K, and is the 11 o'clock keyword. So go do that right now. Bank at realradio921.com. You'll be in the running for this hour's $1,000, a grand in your hand money. By the way, you got about 15 more minutes. So not in too big of a hurry, but go get it right now.
There you go. And then also, Brett from Melbourne, listening on the iHeartRadio app, says hello. Hey, Brett. Franny, Timothy, congratulations on the new car purchase. Thank you very much. And giving her a name. Says, I heard Greek did the same thing, but he can't remember the name he gave it. And thank you so much. So sorry about your puppy needing hip surgery. That's strange to hear for a young dog needing hip replacements. You are correct. It is very. Money is on the dresser. So thank you for that, Brett. And I did want to get into this. We always talk about, obviously, this is a big year in politics, right? Yeah, and the conversation, what is happening?
What's going on?
What are we doing? We may legalize recreational marijuana here in Florida.
Yeah, that's on the ballot coming up.
Mm-hmm. But so we're going to find out who our next president's going to be coming up. But there's always a conversation. Doesn't matter if it's an election year or not, where people are like, who do you think should be president? Who do you want to be president? There's been so many names thrown in the mix, and a lot of times it's celebrities. So one of these websites that I frequent was looking at studyfinds.org. Wanted to see who Americans pick as their celebrity presidential pick. Now, I was surprised, but not, because I can see how the one that was on the top of the list, people would, but it's normally not the person that we think about.
Right.
But yes, if you're looking into this, they said that there was a new survey asking Americans which celebs would get their vote as far as it. Now, the ones we hear, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yep. One
He's
of the
always
more popular ones that you hear about quite often.
Yeah, he is always up there. And of course, he did make the list once again. Now, other ones that are kind of new to me, we have Tom Hanks. So Dwayne, I'm not going to tell you number 1 yet. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is number 2 on the list. Number 3, Tom Hanks. Then you got Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's kind of up there in age. I can see it. But he is.
I think some of these are also going on nostalgia. You know, the Clint Eastwood that we know of in the past too. Nowadays, Clint's kind of up there in years. You know, he's having a little hard time getting around himself. So I'm not quite sure I would see that one as much now. But
then you have.
But at one time, yeah.
Then you have George Clooney. So it looks like those two are tied. Clint Eastwood and George Clooney are tied with 10% of the vote.
Another popular one we hear about from time to time is Clooney.
Yeah, it seems like he kind of separates himself, though. Like, doesn't he live in Europe? Like, I don't know how much. I know for a while they were in Cuomo, him and his wife. I don't know if they live here in the States.
I'm not sure either. I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't think he lives here.
Residing overseas now.
And then Oprah Winfrey, who's always one that's talked about. Her and The Rock, I believe so.
Yeah, probably the most.
Yep, she's behind those two at 9%. Then rounding up the top 10, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah, another one that we often hear. Yep.
Well, we thought he was going to run for Texas governor or something, right?
There was that, too. I mean, and that actually had some legs to it. I think he was actually giving us some consideration. I don't know where he stands on that at the current moment, though.
Surprised by these next two because they're kind of controversial figures when it comes to a lot of conspiracy theories with this one. Bill Gates, right after McConaughey, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think his name in that list for president.
I was surprised. Bill Gates, then Elon Musk, who gets a lot of hate in his own right, too.
Well, yeah.
Surprised?
Most recently, because of what our media does. Problem, Elon is not eligible.
Not born here?
He wasn't born here.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So,
he was born in Africa, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You might be right. I don't know.
Yeah, so
sounds familiar.
He wouldn't be eligible.
Yeah, so you have him. And then Mark Cuban, which there has been somewhat of conversation. Yeah. He said no in the past, not happening. But I guess you never know. I'm surprised he's not higher up than Bill Gates and Elon Musk. I really am. But yeah, number 1 on this list with 15% of the vote was Denzel Washington. Yeah, vote for president.
The other ones, I mean, again, with like Elon, Mark Cuban, even regardless of Elon's eligibility, but, Matthew McConaughey, Mark Cuban, these are guys that, even Clooney, they talk politics from time to time. So that doesn't surprise me that they kind of get their name put out there. For that, but Denzel, not so much.
No, we don't hear
it that much. I don't usually hear with him as far as that. Although I've heard some of his speeches that he gives to colleges and whatnot.
He's fantastic.
He's absolutely wonderful.
And we would have another President Washington.
This is true. Didn't even think about that.
We would have another President Washington. If there's anybody you want to add in the mix, you heard those and you're like, you know what? I think this would be a solid person to run for president. 47142 started off with Real Radio.
What about you, Franny?
Oh,
you want to run?
No, I'm good. No, leave me out of that. I like my life. Well, there's things I would improve in my life, but I don't want that.
No.
What about you? Do you want to be our pantsless president?
No, I don't.
No?
I would have no desire to run for office. Not in today's day and age.
I think people would vote. I think people would vote.
Yeah, I might get a vote or two, but boy, I tell you what.
So it is that time,
Getting
you guys.
harder and harder.
Let's fill up those phone lines. 877-927-6969 because we are giving away some deliciousness. This is a $125 gift card to New York Prime. This is Greek's most favorite steakhouse. In fact, he had one of his biggest days of his life. He had a party there for it, the reception. This is Boca Raton's premier steakhouse. With
sex change?
Yeah, he had a reception for his sex change. With a supper club ambiance and a wine list that goes on for days and days. You can see all they have to offer, which I love to do. Go stock that menu. Just decide what you're going to get. NewYorkPrime.com. But give us a call right now, 877-927-6969.
Get the mashed potatoes.
Oh, are they good there?
Oh, my God. They're so creamy.
I need to. I have a gift card just hanging out in my wallet. And it's not because I don't want to go because it's delicious. It's because I just never venture that way.
Let me know when you're going.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take the trip down there with
I love it. We'll double date. Would be a great time. So give us a call right now. We're going to be playing He Said, She Said. And that's where Jimmy is going to read you a quote. That quote came out of somebody here in the Penthouse, either Greek, Jimmy, or myself, Franny. And it's that easy. He reads a quote, you guess who it is, and then right or wrong. If it's right or wrong, he's going to play the audio so you know there's no shenanigans. Hopefully you get it right. We always say just kind of listen to the words that are said. Be like, that's something G-Man would definitely say. Like the other day, we had one that had the word juice in it. And no, we're not talking about orange juice, the juice he gets when he's gambling or doing something. Listen for those little keywords in there, and hopefully you will be on your way to score a gift card to New York Prime. Now, speaking of giving, we are giving you 13 opportunities a day to score $1,000. We call it Grand in Your Hand, and it is back. Your next opportunity is going to be in about 10 minutes. Rover's going to give you a keyword. You take that keyword, enter it at realradio921.com. That happens around 5 past at the top of every hour from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We make it super easy for you. Pop up. When you enter realradio921.com, you just fill out the information, and just like that, you are in the running. Are we ready to give away a gift card?
We sure are. We are starting with today's contest with Greg. Greg called in first. Greg, welcome to the Penthouse. How you doing today, pal?
Good. Thank you very much.
All right, Greg, let's get you here. Have you ever eaten at New York Prime?
I have not.
All right. Well, we want to get some steak in your mouth. And I also, when you get there, hopefully if you win, call us afterwards and let us know how it goes.
Absolutely. All right, Greg, let's see if we can get you set up with that $125 gift card to New York Prime. I'm going to read you a quote. All you got to do is tell us, did Greek say it, did Franny say it, or did I say it, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here is your quote. Don't leave your balls where I can find them. Don't leave your balls where I can find them. Did Greek say that? Did Franny say that? Or did I, Jimmy, say that?
I'm going to go with Jimmy.
Oh, and I'm going to go with... I'm sorry about that, Greg. That was our very own... I'll play it for you.
Don't leave your balls where I can find them.
That was our very own Miss Francis.
I didn't know either, so it happens.
Sorry about that, Greg. Next up, we have George on the line. This isn't George Clooney, is it?
No.
No?
Oh, all right.
All right. Thought maybe you'd be running for president. We could set you up with a gift card to New York Prime.
No.
All right, George. Let's see if we can get you set up with said gift card. You ever been to New York Prime?
I have.
All right. Well, let's get you back there. I'm going to read you a quote, George. Just tell us, Greek, Franny, or me, who said it, and here is your quote. I know where to put my balls. I know where to put my balls. Did Greek say that? Did Franny say that? Or did I, Jimmy, say that?
I'm going to say Greek.
Nice job.
There it is. We had a theme today.
Yeah, balls. Yes.
No. I know where to put my balls. All right. Great job, George. Now, if you can hang tight for a couple minutes, we're going to go to break here in a little bit. And when we do, I'm going to get back on the line with you off air, and I'll get you set up with that gift card. Okay, buddy?
You got it. Thanks, man.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much,
and sorry
George.
for everybody else that was online waiting to win. I always tell you, go to realradio921.com, click on that contest and promotion page because we got everything on there. The Aerosmith Farewell Tour, you have Blink 182, Limp Bizkit, Sammy Hagar, Foreigner, Janet Jackson, Sunfest, which is coming up next weekend, the DMB Band, all kinds of goodies up for grabs there. Just go and register for everything because you can. And then tomorrow, 11:45, we'll be back at it doing another giveaway. And this time around, speaking of Sunfest, I keep on calling it Sunpass.
I know. It's one of those things, too. Once you get it in your head, like it's subconsciously there and it keeps coming up.
Well, because we're giving away passes to Sunfest, and I just combined it. But yes, a pair of one-day passes to Sunfest. We're going to be doing that tomorrow at 11:45. So thank you. And then we got a couple submissions for president here.
Okay.
Well, one is more of a joke, 47142. They said Clint Eastwood as president, he'd be like, get off my East lawn.
Very true. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then somebody else says, well, what about Harrison Ford as president?
Okay. Well, he's played it.
Yeah.
He's played president.
He sure
president,
has.
Right? Air Force One, I believe.
Yeah, he sure have. And then somebody says, tell Jimmy a bag of balls was too much for Wilson.
Yeah, well.
The Jets received a bag of kicking tees and one chin strap.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're not here, it looks like Zach Wilson got traded to the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we were talking about a couple of those people who they say all the time. It was The Rock and Oprah are always on that list for presidents.
Yeah, they are. And of course, you brought them up in that article. And, just a weird coincidence that another thing thing that happened in the news not too long ago. Now, a very, very unfortunate thing. Remember the Maui wildfires that happened out in Hawaii? Well, The Rock and Oprah were, they were trying to get some donations ginned up to help some of the people that lost their homes and everything. They caught a lot of flack for that, too, because of that. Because a lot of people thought, well, millionaires out there asking for money, that's not really a great thing. But come to find out, really, they put their money where their mouth is. They made some big donations, too, by the way. So this is a little follow-up to what happened with that. And the donations to the Maui wildfire victims, remember? So that's when that happened. Even though they pledged to start things off, which they did for $10 million, people thought it wasn't enough and given their massive wealth. So they thought it was kind of tone deaf, rich people asking for money. A nonprofit that helps manage the distribution of those funds says they ended up raising $60 million for those victims out there. And while 20,000 individuals and companies donated, the bulk of that money came from Oprah and The Rock. They didn't say exactly how much, but they did foot a big portion of that bill. A little bit more that was in that article. In the end, the Entertainment Industry Foundation, a longtime nonprofit that helps celebrities administer charitable work and that managed the distribution of the funds, said it raised almost $60 million. That money was dispersed between September and February to about 8,100 adults, a significant portion of the 12,000 people the state of Hawaii estimates were displaced. So they did get a lot of money to a lot of people in need. And I just, I don't know. I saw that. I thought that maybe that'd be a good follow-up, let everybody know. We don't often hear that side of it, too. We hear, okay, people asking for donations for something, and I'm staying away from the controversial part. I don't mean that, but just in general, right? And it's always nice to hear a good follow-up on what good that money does for some people.
I'm telling you, people, they will get on you for anything. I never told this story, but a few months back, my mother-in-law got very, very sick.
Right.
And she had a hospital stay, and that hospital stay racked up because she didn't have insurance. And so it was a thing. And so
you guys had a little charity event.
Yeah,
day,
so
right?
we had a charity event. Her daughter and my husband started a GoFundMe on her behalf to help her out. And it's, we did what we could do to help her, of course, the most that we could. But I got somebody who was personally attacking me because if they saw I was going out to dinner or they saw something like on my Facebook, they would start commenting and they were like, this woman is a fraud. I didn't even start at the GoFundMe page. This woman is a fraud. She's taking your money. She created a GoFundMe for somebody and da-da-da-da. And if they have this money, they shouldn't be doing anything. All the money should be going to this woman if it's real. So saying I was scamming people out of money, basically saying I was taking for the GoFundMe to live this lavish lifestyle that I don't.
Oh, okay. So they were assuming you were pocketing the money from
and
that
I didn't even start the page.
Oh, wow.
So it's like there's always going to be somebody or something, even when it comes to people who have a lot of money like that, who, like you said, gave so much of their own money and people still give them crap like they think that they should pay for everything.
Right.
They're just trying to get others involved who want to help donate.
And that's what it was. And I would, and even they admitted that when they first put out that video, it did come across as a little tone deaf. I mean, even they admitted to it. I do remember that, though, Oprah and The Rock. So they did have follow-up videos to kind of explain it a little bit better. But nonetheless, I mean, I think part of it, too, was the fact, doesn't she own a lot of property out in Hawaii?
She does, yes.
And I think some people were trying to come up with the idea.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he does, too.
She was, well, yeah, true, too, with his heritage. So I think there was also some ideas that, maybe she was going to try to, scam some people out of, property out there, glom it up while it's burnt down and everything.
That was the assumption, the story that was made out.
And there were some bad stories about things that were coming out there as far as people, losing their property and things.
Unfortunately, it's going to happen in times like that.
Sadly, those things do happen.
There are a lot of not good people out there.
But, in general, the two of them did do a lot of good to raise a lot of money for the people that lost their homes out there. So, and that's, sometimes let's focus on the good instead of the bad.
I agree. Now, we do have a keyword coming your way in a few minutes. Rover's going to give you that. Make sure you take that. Enter at realradio921.com. We call it grand in your hand. We want you to win $1,000. And then, of course, noon means it is time for some fun facts. And today's fun facts, what?
$2 bills?
No.
No? About lovers?
Nope, not about
It's National Lovers Day.
It is National Lovers Day. But
I love you, Franny.
Oh, I love you. See, that's real.
Different kind of love.
Grab some pop. Yeah, not like lovers. Grab some popcorn, sit back and celebrate with a Blockbuster, because today is movie theater day, and I have some interesting facts about that.
Excellent.
And then we're going to get into some cinema talk, so at least movie talk. I know, Jimmy, that you have an interesting story about John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, which is one of my favorite movies. We have that. And then if you've never seen any of those Star Wars flicks, we might have an offer for you, too.
Oh, yeah. You're going to want to listen up for that.
Yeah, so we got that coming your way on the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Doug Plagans, radio voice of your Florida Panthers. The Panthers host the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight for Game 2 of their first-round best-of-7 Stanley Cup playoff series. The Panthers lead the series 1-0. We'll have all the action tonight, beginning with Panthers preview at 7. The puck drops at 7:30 at Amaret Bank Arena in Sunrise on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
Tuesday Drive is up to speed along the Palm Beaches. We are looking good on the expressways, not seeing any major delays or incidents on 95 or the Turnpike. Make sure you watch out for bicycles on your commute. That's traffic on Judy Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll have the story of the trial that defined a man and a nation. We're talking about when John Adams defended the British soldiers over the Boston Massacre.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows will help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
When the optimistic Billy Halpern meets a suspicious end, authorities focus on an ex-cop turned criminal. But the investigation goes nowhere for decades. Listen to the podcast Cold-Blooded as two investigators uncover a shocking motive in the pursuit of justice for Billy Halpern.
He was good looking, he was funny, everyone liked him. It's just a shame that they took him from us.
Listen to Cold-Blooded on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Cold-Blooded to start listening.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
See why Comcast Business powers more small businesses than anyone else. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call to switch today. Ends 5/6/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
that warm up throughout the afternoon. It's upper 70s and low 80s for our highs today. Cloudless sky overnight tonight as we cool back down. Upper 60s and low 70s for our overnight lows. High pressure settles in over the next few days, keeping our temperatures right around where they should be for this time of year, in the low 80s for our highs.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, underhood, and more. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 5th, 2024.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty, that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Coming up on the show, the NFL Draft is but 2 days away. Drew Dinsick joins us to discuss that, the NBA playoffs, and a little tennis, plus Paul Carr on midweek Premier League action, and Paul Sporer on Major League Baseball. Numbers game 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, right here at VSiN.
This might be the most competitive race in the NFC in years. Hi, I'm Stormy Bonantoni with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Let's take a look at the updated NFC title future odds. The defending NFC champion 49ers are favored to repeat at plus 250, bringing back the bulk of their roster from a year ago. The Lions saw a disappointing ending against San Francisco in the conference championship. Following what was a historic season for the franchise, they're plus 550 to take another step and win it in 2024. The Eagles got off to a hot 10-1 start last season before dropping 6 of 7 games down the stretch, and one of the more epic collapses we've seen by a perceived contender. Philly looks to bounce back at 7-1 following some big offseason acquisitions.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. For $1,000 now. Enter the nationwide keyword cash at realradio921.com. That's cash. Enter it now at realradio921.com, and good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Good afternoon. Welcome back into the PH on Real Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are just tuning in, you're like, well, hey, how come Franny's introing the show? Well, sometimes I do it because Greek might be late for break. But this time he is actually not with us. He will be back in the house with us tomorrow. But you do have me, and of course we have Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. Good afternoon.
Hello, and good afternoon.
And we have you. We want you to participate with us. 47142. That's the text line. You just have to start it off with Real Radio. You can always leave us a talk back. We love that. On the iHeartRadio app, just search for Real Radio at 921. Click on that microphone icon, and you're just going to leave us a voice message, and we will play it on air if it's worthy enough. And, of course, we have an email, jimmy@realradio921.com. Now, no stranger to the show. We actually had him on a couple weeks ago for a bit. And years and years and years and years, and I don't know, I was probably like 10 when you were on the show.
Don't flatter yourself.
I'm just kidding because I'm older than him. And my co-host on Morning on the Gators, we have Jason with us. Hey, Jason.
Hi.
Hi.
What up, J-Dog?
You know, I landed on a plane this morning.
You did.
PBI.
You landed on a plane,
I
huh?
know, I
You just flew out of the sky and landed right on
out
the plane.
of town, and
It's the chair.
Yeah,
I swear it's the chair.
It's the chair. It really is the chair. And I get this text from our operations manager. I know you're on a plane. As soon as you land, call me.
Uh-oh.
And he's like, I'm like, all right. So I called him. He's like, hey man, G's out today. Something's going on. Can you come on? I know it's your day off, but can you come in? And I was like, you, this guy, our douchey operations man, on my day off. This
right?
guy.
What kind of tool would do that?
I know. Anyway, so here I am. Hi, how are you?
Want
How's
me
it
to
going?
beat him up?
Yeah, please do. He deserves it. This guy.
So, Jason, you were in New York, and so if you listen to the Gator in the Mornings, you may have heard I was solo a couple of days because you got to enjoy your time for your wife's birthday.
Uh-huh.
And Jimmy, we're going to get into some fun facts, but just quickly, I mean, you treated her like this was to me, seemed like a once-in-a-lifetime vacation to New York City. Oh, yeah, let's set the mood.
I didn't hear that song enough this past weekend. My wife and I definitely blue-collar people, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to step it up a notch for her birthday, and we decided to go high-end, fancy pants all along the way. I had to, take equity out of my house just to make this happen.
Looking at the pictures, I wouldn't be surprised.
And that was just the airfare.
Exactly. So,
baggage fees.
My wife, for those who don't know, is a vegetarian, has been for about 20 years now. And I've been working on something for a little while. There's this place in Manhattan called 11 Madison Park. Now, this was voted the best restaurant in the world in 2017. And I mean, got triple Michelin stars, the worst.
Not just one Michelin, three Michelins.
Yeah, like this place is it, you know.
Like even people who aren't vegan or vegetarian would be like, this place is delicious.
In 2017, they were not plant-based.
Okay.
They did have meats and all sorts of other things on their menu. Enter COVID, things change, and the chef there, he said, you know what, we're coming out of COVID. I'm going to do something daring here. I'm going to go 100% plant-based.
Got it. Guess what they haven't gotten since then? A Michelin star.
No.
I'm just kidding.
They got a lot of crap for going.
I'm just kidding.
They got a lot of crap for going 100% plant-based.
I'm sure.
Like all the critics and all the, I can't believe you're doing this. You're never going to get triple Michelin stars again. Right. Well, he proved them wrong and got 3 Michelin stars again.
Oh, nice.
Last year.
Okay.
So, and 11 Madison Park, 3 Michelin. I think it's the only plant-based restaurant in the world that has 3 Michelin stars.
What's their popular meal? Let's say it's an entree.
Well, this is
plant-based,
this is different. So it's a prefix menu. It's a 10-course meal. You don't get to pick what you want.
I see.
It's a whole.
Yep, I know what you mean.
It's a whole deal.
You just tell them if you have like a food allergy or what you can and cannot eat, and they'll base it around that too.
Right. Exactly. And I heard about this place back in like January, and I knew that you had to get reservations well in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So I got reservations back then, and you have to pay for the whole thing in advance, and it's
If you don't show up,
if you don't show up, it's
they make
on
sure
you.
it's taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. So it's already prepaid, all that other stuff. So we got reservations for this past Sunday. Had a blast.
Good.
It was just in New York, obviously famous for food. We were all over the place. We went to a bunch of different, just like high-end plant-based restaurants that were really good. It was
Didn't
fantastic.
like slum it over in Chinatown, or
Didn't slum it in Chinatown.
Get some dim sum.
Didn't do any slumming. That's
All
the
right.
next trip. But it was fantastic. I got to tell you, of the 10 courses for me, the first course and the last course were the best.
All right, and that's how it kind of should be, right? Like you start it off with a bang, and then you end it with something.
I think that was
you
their
remember.
intent.
Yes.
I do not have it. We've talked about this a bunch of times, Franny, on the Gator and the morning show. I do not have a sweet tooth. I'm not really into candy that much. Like it's dark chocolate occasionally. That's about it.
All right.
The dessert that came out at the very end was this rhubarb thing, and it reminded me of my grandmother's
I was going to say that's very
house,
grandmother rhubarb
and
pie.
It wasn't a pie. It was, I don't know what the hell it was.
Okay.
I couldn't. I was half in a bag. I mean, I had like 4 whiskeys by at dinner, and I'm like, but this rhubarb
Whiskey,
dessert,
plant-based, by the way.
very much plant-based. Japanese whiskey to be specific, and it was superb. But regardless,
very expensive.
I told you high end this
I know.
weekend.
Latte Dog.
This rhubarb dessert was just phenomenal. And that's how we ended it. And then we went to a comedy show after that, blah, 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 blah.
Went to Caroline's?
Huh?
Caroline's?
No, we went to a place called The Stand. An old
Okay.
friend and employee of mine from Cleveland actually moved to New York recently to kind of really explode her comedy career. She's a stand-up comedian, and watched her perform in New York.
Cool.
And she killed it. She absolutely killed it.
Excellent.
The other cool part, Jimmy, I think you would appreciate this. Getting back home today. We flew in and out of JFK. And I wanted to treat my wife. I was like, we're going to do this. And I didn't tell her this. But I ended up booking a private helicopter flight from Manhattan to JFK.
Right. You mentioned that to me before. How did that go?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like
nice.
I'd only been in a helicopter one other time. I got to fly in the back copter for an air show like 8 years ago or whatever it might be, which was really cool. My wife had never flown in a helicopter.
Yeah, they scare me for some reason, and I'm not very fearful of a lot of things.
It was a smooth ride.
Was it? Okay.
You got to keep in mind, you're in a helicopter. You're controlling two rudders, not just one or whatever, the two blades. The top and the tail blade. So there's some movement going on. But we took off from 30th Street and 12th Avenue so it's basically right there on the Hudson River, and flew all the way. Got a great view of Midtown and all the way around
Very
downtown. One World Trade, all of Manhattan, and all of New York. The views were just amazing. You can't describe the views because
So it was a little bit of a tour as well as the ride too.
it was.
right?
It wasn't a tour. It was just. Here's your ride to JFK.
That was
Well,
your
they
flight
probably
plan.
pick you up specifically. That is the point, so
Right.
you can see all of the city before
Absolutely.
you go to JFK.
Yeah, I know there's that heliport there over on Hudson River. I mean, they're not the only. It's a specific company, and if they want to get some advertisement from the radio station, they can gladly pay for it by any means. Regardless, it was just smooth. It was a 10-minute flight from. You got to keep in mind, if you're going from JFK to Midtown Manhattan, it's going to take you about 45 minutes to an hour if you get an Uber, and it's still going to cost you $100 $100,
Yep.
So 10 minutes, and it was just the perfect weather leaving Manhattan. It was just fantastic. So, that helicopter ride, man, it was so cool, and I would absolutely do it again. It worth the price, especially when you consider it's going to cost you $100 just to get downtown in a taxi or Uber anyway.
And you don't have to tell me or tell everybody, but when you told me the cost, I was like, it really isn't that terrible. Yeah, I mean, considering what you're doing, how quickly and how cool the experience was.
Absolutely, and the lounge at the heliport was to the nines. It was. I've never listen. I see you women. You women.
Yeah, you
I
women.
See you guys
you women, you.
I see you guys.
I understand why you say it like that.
These full body mirrored like selfies and whatnot, and I've never ever taken
You selfied
one.
in a mirror, didn't you?
Because the mirror was so damn cool in this bathroom at this helicopter lounge.
What made it so cool?
It's just it was the.
It's just the way you looked
design.
at it?
The design around the mirror, it was lit up, and it had this layered wave effect to it. It was really cool. So I'm like, I'm taking my first full-length mirror selfie. What the hell?
Selfie.
I'm like, what the hell is happening to me?
This is why they do it.
It happens in New York. That's what happens to you.
Another cool thing that happened, and I can't believe I pulled this off. She doesn't know. The Panthers game was on Sunday.
Sunday afternoon.
I'm a huge Panthers fan.
Right.
You're repping
and
them right now?
I'm repping because we got game 2 tonight against Tampa Bay.
7 o'clock.
And
right
I'm
here on
like,
Real
all
Radio,
right.
92.1.
Exactly. She's always wanted to go through Central Park, and all the trips that we've ever made to New York, we've never really gone through Central Park. The weather was good, so I'm like, all right, cool.
Central Park is great, and not just that. The squirrels in Central Park,
they're huge.
They're on steroids. Those things are massive compared to our little tiny South Florida squirrels.
Little scrawny Florida squirrels.
Yeah, these look like they ate a couple of our squirrels.
So I had to figure out how I'm going to do this because at that time, we're at 12:30. It was puck drop, and it was like, all right, I got to hear what's going on. I got to listen to the game. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to do it. We made a little walk through Central Park. I kept her to my right the whole time. And I had my AirPod in my left ear, and I was streaming Real Radio 92.1 on the iHeartRadio app just so I could listen to game 1 of the playoffs.
And she had no idea.
She had no idea.
You are sneaky.
I pulled it off. We had it was like, I don't know, a 2-hour walk. We just wanted to walk through Central Park, and we just walked through the whole time. I'm having conversations with her, but I had to manage. I kept her on the right, AirPod in the left, listening to
She
the
knew.
Panthers.
By the way,
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she
She
did.
just gave you a pass
They know.
because you just presented her with such an amazing weekend. She was
Yeah,
probably like,
yeah.
I don't care.
That's all right. Let them have the
It
year.
is what it
And
is.
you were still paying attention to her, but
Yes.
they
Yeah.
know. They
Yeah,
know.
I know. Well,
It's like
regardless.
the parents always know. And
Mhm.
the whole
shows
nine
you
Women
yards.
always know. We
Yeah.
do.
Shows you the power of Real Radio 92.1 and the iHeartRadio app that I can actually listen to the Panthers game in New York
There you
City
go.
on the iHeartRadio app,
That's right.
streaming completely free to 92.1 Real Radio.
How about the ending to that game?
Oh,
huh?
my God.
Not bad. 3 minutes.
Fantastic.
If you don't know, was it about 3 minutes ago they pulled goalie?
Yeah.
Tampa
Yep.
Bay pulled goalie who was 2-1 at the time. So Panthers get an empty netter, 3-1, and actually with 8 seconds to go, Tampa Bay gets
Still
one
got a goal.
around.
Yeah.
Number 72 there in the net for the Panthers. And boy, I tell you what, talk about a small window. He got that
Yeah.
puck in.
Yeah, he did.
Damn.
Still didn't get the win, though.
And nope, didn't get the win. Of course, if you had the Tampa Bay Lightning plus the points, you were good, though. So I think G was saying it was 1.5. So, yeah, what a game, huh?
Man,
What
I
an
hate
ending.
the Lightning. I just can't stand that team. I don't. It's interstate rivalry between
Yeah,
the
but
Panthers
if
and
the
the
Panthers
Lightning.
aren't in, do you root for them because it's a Florida team? Because I know that's how you roll.
Eh,
Florida or
ish.
bust.
Not yes and no. I mean, if they make it to the Stanley Cup final, then perhaps, possibly,
Okay.
I still would root for them over other teams. But I mean, it just
Oh,
no.
I can hear the disgust.
They're not. They're not. I don't despise them as much as I do the Jets.
Did you hear Zach Wilson traded to the Broncos?
Have fun with that, Denver.
Yeah.
Got a bag of balls.
That's
too
what
much.
they did the trade.
Oh, man.
Yep. So better late than never. It is a bunch of days today, including National Email Day. We have Army Reserve Birthday. I know you probably came back to a bunch of emails. We also have today, what'd you say, Jimmy? It was National Lovers Day.
National Lovers Day. today. Yeah, come here, Jay.
Yeah. And maybe with your lover, you go on a picnic. It's National Picnic Day, but it is also Movie
Hey,
Theater
boo-boo.
Day, and I've got some fun facts about movie theaters. Surprisingly enough, or not, I don't think it is, movie theaters have been around for over a century. They say, also known as cinemas, their rich history dating back to the late 19th century. The concept of a dedicated space for viewing motion pictures first emerged in the 1890s. They said the first permanent movie theater, though, opened in 1902, making a significant milestone in the evolution of movie theaters. As it witnessed the opening of the world's first permanent movie theater, they said this monumental event took place in, where do you want to guess? In the U.S.
New York City.
Yeah.
Another one. Give me another one.
Los
Chicago.
Angeles.
Los Angeles is correct,
Oh, I guess that
Jimmy.
makes sense.
Yeah, signaling the dawn
Hollywood.
of a new era in entertainment. Yep. The largest movie theater screen measures 100 feet. Moviegoers seeking an immersive cinematic experience may find themselves drawn to theaters featuring these colossal screens. Among the most impressive is a screen that spans over 100 feet, offering audience a larger-than-life visual spectacle. Now, I'm guessing that can't be the same as the IMAX, right? Because those are
Yeah, those are round.
round
yeah.
and massive. Yeah. They also have here the first 3D movie, which I was really surprised because I thought that was newer technology. Yes, go ahead.
Jaws?
No.
Oh, it's something in the 80s. Was it? No?
No, I know. It doesn't.
That's what I thought it was. It was a remake of Jaws.
But they call so the concept of three-dimensional film. It doesn't say the movie, but it says 1922. I got to
wow.
see what movie it was. The first 3D movie was showcased.
Wow.
No
They
kidding.
said laying the foundation for a captivating dimension of cinematic storytelling.
Interesting.
1922, right? Huh. I got to see what movie that was.
So the first 3D movie is now 102 years old.
How about that?
That's quick math right there.
Look,
You
look
guys.
at you and your big
Look at
brain. Look at big brain on
Brad.
Brad.
Oh, y'all come on. Just walk in this door and get compliments. I love it.
By the way, you look huge today.
Hey, thank you.
Huge.
Huge.
But they say the 3D glasses enhance the viewing experience, and those didn't come out. So that's like, it's like, all right, well, if 1922, how did you watch the 3D movies? But
Well,
the
doesn't it rely on colors? Don't you have to have
yes,
like blue
the red and blue.
Yeah.
Yes, the utilization of 3D glasses in a movie theater has revolutionized the way audience engage with films, adding depth, dimension to the visual narrative, which we do know that. They also say movie theaters host special events and screenings. Not surprisingly enough, they said the occasions provide audience with unique opportunities to engage with filmmakers, discover new releases, all kinds of stuff. So it's not just for movies. They also have on here National Movie Theater Day. These days, movie theaters are completely different than what they once were. They say nowadays, which we know, You can feel like a VIP going into a movie theater.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Between getting premium seating, having waiters, waitresses, being able to have wine, cocktails, buttons you press, you lounge, you have blankets.
Well, yeah, they had to evolve.
Yes.
Absolutely had to. I remember going to movie theaters as a kid, and she's like, you're just sitting in this crappy seat that's like,
sticky.
It's just sticky and gooey. And,
Like also where that first argument came in whether you could recline, right? You know, sort of like what we talk about with airlines. You know, on an airplane, whether or not you can recline your seat. One of the things I've yet to be to one of those theaters where it has like those real big lounge chairs and all that, because I'm afraid I'll fall asleep no matter how good the movie is, right? But I also see now they're getting really interactive with these seats. They're like almost move like a ride.
Yeah.
What are they? Those are 40?
Yeah, 40.
And is that what they call
theaters,
it?
yeah, and even some of them will have like
Like
they'll
mist you.
They'll mist you or they'll spray smells and
I
everything
just don't
like
want
that.
to be misted because I don't know what's going through that chair.
I don't want that. No way.
Don't mist me. I'm good.
Well, I've seen, they have like Universal has a couple of those, in there, and that's the first time I've experienced something like that. So I can't imagine going to a movie theater and having all that.
Yeah, I'm good.
And now I'm going to shock you with some very odd movie theater facts. An alarming amount of moms leave dirty diapers under the seats at movie theaters. Yes.
Thank you.
Apparently,
well,
some
I'm just going to take my lunch and throw it the hell out.
They said apparently some moms are so into getting their money's worth out of a kids movie that they are not even up for taking their little ones to the bathroom for a diaper change. Instead, they'll do it right there and throw the diapers under the movie seat.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Classy.
In Korea, dried cuttlefish is often served with popcorn. I don't know if I want that. I think I'll pass on that. Yep. They said also some.
I only take mine moist.
We've heard about, I think it was, the Jonas Brothers. When I did a tour of the AT&T Stadium, has the biggest screen out there. They said that they were the first ones to have a concert that before the show played video games on it.
Oh, yeah?
The first, and they were like, it was so cool. But on here, they say theater employees they play video games. They play Xbox on the big screen after hours on there.
Why
It's like,
not?
might as well take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Imagine Call of Duty on that bitch.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Damn.
And then finally here, they claim that there's a right and wrong way to sneak into an R-rated movie if you're underage.
Oh, boy.
Yes. And I used to do it. We used to also scam and do like the double feature, pay for one and then jump into another theater after the fact. Well, they say, many movie theater employees admit they don't really care if an underage kid wants to see an R-rated movie, but they are a lot more likely to be cool about it if you don't risk getting them in trouble. Rather than try to present a ticket seller with your dad's ID or whatever it is, while his manager hovers nearby, just buy a ticket for another movie that plays around the same time and take a seat for the movie you really want to see instead. Nobody's going to pay attention to you.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer.
So just getting kids into R-rated movies. You're welcome.
I remember back in the day, we used to sneak in and out of the emergency exit. There's one specific movie theater because there's exits down at the bottom, or at least in this one, there was exits down at the bottom.
Always, yeah.
And as soon as you have one friend go in there, and you just pay for the ticket, and then sneak through your friends in through the emergency exit.
I was always afraid that an alarm or something would go off if I opened one of those things.
It never went off.
And so you found out, and you're like, all right.
It's great to know the fire alarms work.
Another thing, when you're in a movie theater, we always say this: learn your exits.
Yeah.
Because you just never know. So we do not have G-Man, but we do have a trifecta coming up next. And speaking of watching things, you have a cool way, right? If you've never watched Star Wars before.
Actually, yeah.
There's an offer for some people.
Very big offer. And I also got a little piece of tidbit trivia about John Travolta and Pulp Fiction.
One of my favorite movies.
That movie, too. We can do that coming up on the other side of the break.
All right, perfect. We got that coming up and more on the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
Third season premiere of The Morning Show on Apple TV and the series premiere of The Other Black Girl on Hulu.
I hope that's what it's called.
It's called that. Of course, why would I say that?
The News Junkie, weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Here's traffic on Real Radio.
Tuesday Drive is up to speed along the Palm Beaches. We are looking good on the expressways, not seeing any major delays or incidents on 95 or the Turnpike. Make sure you watch out for bicycles on your commute. That's traffic on duty, Stuart.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Savings, now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming with members-only offers. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Subject to terms and conditions, see Lowes.com/terms. Homes for details.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
Hayes the Greek, and it's Monroe's at Palm Beach, where 7 days a week you can find the beautiful girls and a great atmosphere and a 5-star menu. And Friday night is Fetish Fridays. Make sure you get there on a Friday to kick off your weekend. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. That's where all the beautiful ladies are, and they will make you feel like a winner. Stop in Monroe 7 days a week and enjoy yourself and have a beautiful lady by your side. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. Make sure it's on your agenda. It's always on mine. Peace.
Sunshine came softly through my window today.
Florida truly is the Sunshine State, and it shows in everything we grow. When you shop, choose fresh from Florida.
'Cause I made my mind up, you're going to be mine. I tell you right now.
Fresh from Florida. There's sunshine in every bite.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 561-390-1000. That's 561-390-1000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Injured on the job? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anna Jar Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Glenn Levine, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
See why Comcast Business powers more small businesses than anyone else. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call to switch today. Ends 5/6/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at lifelock.com.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I'm Ben Ferguson. And I'm Ted Cruz. Israel strikes back, attacking Iran. We explain what's happening right now.
Plus, the Attorney General admits that fentanyl is the worst drug threat in American history, and yet our borders are open.
Download Verdict with Ted Cruz wherever you get your podcasts.
MMJHealth.com. Get approved for your card today. Medical marijuana made easy.
Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
Continuing that warm up throughout the afternoon, we'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s for our highs today. Cloudless sky overnight tonight as we cool back down. Upper 60s and low 70s for our overnight lows. High pressure settles in over the next few days, keeping our temperatures right around where they should be for this time of year, in the low 80s for our high.
This report is sponsored by Blue Stream Fiber.
HOA and condo board members, it pays to have fiber. Let Blue Stream Fiber show you how fiber internet provides revenue for communities while saving up to 50% off retail rates. Visit bluestreamfiber.com/radio to find out more.
Hi, I'm Graham Class, host of Technically Speaking, an Intel podcast. Join me for Season 2 as we explore the future of technology evolving today. In each episode, I'll speak with the minds transforming medicine, healthcare, retail, entertainment, personal computing, and more with the help of AI. Join me every other Tuesday and explore the latest technology changing our world today and creating a more accessible tomorrow. Listen to Technically Speaking, an Intel podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Greek Trifecta is sponsored by Jason Weiser, attorney at law.
Real Radio 92.1. We are an iHeart radio station.
Hey, this is Granny. I'm sorry Greek couldn't make it to work this morning, but I guess last night he put too much Granny in his hand. Rover?
Hey Jimmy, it's me, Big Rick, over here in Palm Beach County Corrections. I just got your letter on J-Mail. I think you're so sexy too, baby. All the guys here are so jealous. I only have 10 more years. Keep waiting for me, baby. I'll talk to you later. Mwah.
You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yeah, that's TalkBack. You can utilize that on our iHeartRadio app. Totally free.
What a sweet talker that Big Rick.
Apparently you can use it from Gun Club Road.
Yeah. J-Mail, is that what it's called? Jailmail? J-Mail. Yep, and you can do that. And you can also send us a TalkBack on the iHeartRadio app. You can always participate with us. Be that fourth seat in the Penthouse. Speaking of the Penthouse, this is the crew. I'm Franny. Hi. Good afternoon. We have Jimmy.
Hello and good afternoon.
And today we have a special guest that is sitting in for Greek today. We have Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hi, from mornings on 98.7 The Gator, the Jason and Franny Show. Hey, everybody. We're having so much fun today, aren't we?
I'm glad you don't talk like that on the show.
I sure don't.
I really am. And Jason also is no stranger to Real Radio. If you are just tuning in, he was with Real Radio years and years ago. Hung out with the Love Docs. Also had another show that used to do back in the day. I don't know how well that turned out.
Oh, at Lex and Terry?
No. Didn't you do like a show at night?
That one? Okay. No. Oh, Dan yeah, Nights on Real Radio did that show too.
Yeah.
But there was, and I actually found some tapes the other day, and I don't want to listen to them, but there was a show that we did. It was every Saturday morning.
This is the one you got to puke. If you're going to puke any one of these names.
It was called Jason and the Bomb Squad.
Okay. Is this one that Krista was in?
No. It was Jason and the Bob.
Jason and the Bob Squad. I didn't want to do it. We had
gotta puke that one
we
out.
had the voice guy really puke that one out for us. Regardless, that's one where Krista got her start as well. But we would also have, I think it was like 10 or 12 different models, and brilliant idea.
Bomb squad, so all like hot girls.
Yeah, get a brilliant idea.
Yes.
Get a bunch of people who have never been behind a microphone, don't know how to do radio at
That's
all.
how real radio works around
and
here.
just throw them and see what happens.
Yep.
And you had,
Good luck.
And boy, was it bad.
That's why it didn't last very long. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, it was. I mean, it was
Hey,
great for
listen.
me. I ended up dating one of the Bomb Squad girls. It was fantastic. We got Krista out of it. Krista was fantastic. I love Krista.
She joined us on the locker room for quite a while. She did great until she moved.
You're welcome.
Up
That's
to
my
Chicago.
gift to you guys. Was Krista? Yeah.
But yeah, so it was different back then. Maybe if you had real TV like we do now, you can check us all out, except for Jason. We got to find one for him. That is realradio921.com. Click on Real TV, and that is brought to you by our buddy Jason Weiser, attorney at law. Now, we don't have Greek, but we still have a trifecta for you.
Riders up. It's Greek's Trifecta.
Well, if you were watching some basketball last night, you had a couple of great games. Jamal Murray hit a buzzer beater for the Nuggets. He gave them a 101-99 victory over the Lakers, and he didn't even see it happen too. He brings it back up court. He's kind of chewing up the clock a little bit, and he throws one up there at the last second. He falls backwards into his teammates and didn't see it happen, but the roar of the crowd kind of gave it away. Denver leads that series 2-0 with Game 3 coming up in Los Angeles on Thursday nights. Knicks fans did it too. They hit a big one at Madison Square Garden last night. They were down by 5 with 30 seconds to go, and they ended up rallying back with for a 3-point win, 104-101 over the 76ers. Game 3 is Thursday night. A little notable here, the Marlins did lose to the Braves 3-0, so that's good for you, Franny. But if you want to catch Marlins games, you can catch them right on over at 12:30 The Gambler. Some other a little note that we had there just before the break. Zach Wilson was traded from the Jets to the Denver Broncos for a bag of balls. So if you're a Jets fan, you're probably happy. I don't know. You tell us whether you are or not.
I'm guessing they are.
And
Just my assumption.
Finally, a little playoff hockey continues tonight where your Florida Panthers, they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game 2, they're already up 1-0. They beat the Lightning the other night. 3-2 there at the Ameren Bang Arena. So good luck to the Cats. By the way, you can catch that game right here on Real Radio with coverage starting at 7 o'clock. Got a pregame 7:30 puck drop tonight right here on Real Radio. So good luck to the Florida Panthers. And that is your noon trifecta.
Thank you very much. We're going to get into some movie and streaming talk, but before that, let's get into your text messages at 47142. We threw out there who would be good to be running for presidency, right?
Right.
There was a poll that was done. I don't know if you saw it, Jason, and Denzel Washington topped the list, surprisingly enough, because normally it's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Oprah, which they were on the list, but Denzel was number one.
McConaughey's one we've heard.
Yeah, McConaughey was on there. Yeah, even Bill Gates was on there. Elon Musk made the list. I was surprised.
What about Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban was the last one on there.
Okay, all right.
He's on there. Yeah.
All right. I like Mark Cuban.
Yeah, I was surprised of that list, but Tom Hanks made the list too, top 10. So we put it out there. So far, we've got Clint Eastwood, and we're like, he's kind of up there in age, but I like it. They would have said as president, he'd be like, get off my East lawn. We got, let's see.
Isn't he like 105 now?
He's not, but he's up there in age.
I saw a video of him the other day.
I did too.
It wasn't very complimentary to him.
Yeah, bless that guy. Yeah. So we had him. Somebody said Harrison Ford. And then we also have, I would like to see former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice as president.
Oh, yeah.
They said she would bring dignity and honor back to presidency. Then we talked about how these stupid trolls, and because we were mentioning how Oprah and The Rock got some crap when they were asking for money, even though they donated a lot of money to those Maui fires.
Yeah.
And I mentioned my own little personal story. So I love it. They were just mentioning, just kind of don't listen to the trolls, which I don't. And I totally let that go very easily. I just block people. But it says for those kind of people, you need to start a go F yourself page. And I was like, you probably do.
How about that?
Instead of a go fund, go F yourself page.
Never tried that one before.
And then somebody wants to know, it says, hey, Franny, did you ever tell Jason about the fact I shared with you? And I don't think I did, but I think you know this, Jason, because you say it a lot. And that is the measurement buttload.
Yeah.
Butt ton, buttload. But they said, do you ever share about buttload being an actual form of measurement?
No way.
Yeah, it's an actual form. Look it up. Google it. It's an actual form. It's not just a term you made up. It's actually in the dictionary. And we got Jimmy looking it up, too.
How much
I believe this is from our buddy
is
JJ.
a butt ton?
Butt ton or buttload, I think. Uh-huh. And then we have
108
It is.
imperial gallons?
See? It's a thing. Uh-huh.
I say 126 gallons. A buttload of wine.
Well, he's got imperial, yeah.
Is 126 gallons of wine. For real. This isn't an April Fool's Day
No,
joke.
it really is a form of measurement.
126 U.S. gallons. Would you look at that?
I don't know if I'm buying it.
I mean, the computer doesn't lie, does it? I don't know.
That's a big butt.
It is. It is. And then movie theaters, this is because today is.
Well, I mean, the qualifier here, the butt, is an obsolete English measure of liquid volume.
Okay. Just the BUTT.
Yeah.
Deal in the butt.
But it's obsolete though. It's antiquated. It's not actual.
But it's a term on there. So, but I don't. But I'm saying but together as a butt load.
Can't believe we're having this
I don't either.
conversation. I love it though.
Means something different in my house.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
However, whatever it is, that
Trying to
number
deal.
that you read in his wine, I would like a buttload of wine at my house.
Okay.
That's what I would like.
You got to guess what glass the cork's in.
And then
Inside joke.
National
bet it
Movie
is.
National Movie Theater Day we have on here. I bet them floors aren't as sticky as the theater Paul Rubens went to. Probably not.
Did you go to that movie theater in New York while you were there?
Well, I thought the movie theater was in Sarasota.
Probably
I thought it was a Florida one too.
Yeah, I think it was. And you know, here's the thing about that whole scenario. That is such a non-thing now.
There probably was.
You want it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
There probably was.
I guarantee there was. That's what that movie theater was.
Yes.
That's what they were there for.
Yeah.
But it's such those don't even exist
It's
anymore.
because it was Pee-wee.
I
That's
know.
the only reason why. And
Poor
that
guy.
poor guy. And when he passed away, everybody had nothing but great things to say about him and said he
Right.
was a wonderful human being and this and that. But he got that one thing got him. And I get it. But he was at a theater that's what you were there for.
It's the easy joke, and everybody, even posthumously, people are still going to take that joke for
Yes.
decades to come. I promise you.
Yep. And then somebody says, anyone remember smell-o-vision? I did not. I always thought that was something that was made for 10, but they said that I do early 60s, New York City.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, and it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
We just talked about those billboards over in Switzerland or somewhere. Where
Yeah,
they're
the
gonna have
McDonald's
McDonald's
billboards.
ones.
Yes, in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Netherlands,
yeah.
Amsterdam. Yeah,
Netherlands, that's it.
Yeah, and they're pumping the smell of the fries. It's the billboard itself has nothing on it.
They've got fries in there.
Yeah,
they're right on the inside of it. At
That's
least
what they're
the
doing.
video that I saw. That's
No, I
pretty
want
wild. Huh?
fries.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine that?
No, I think it's absolutely brilliant. So, Jimmy, yes, you had something on one of my favorite movies. It really is of all time. Give me top 5. Pulp Fiction's always going to be there.
Speaking of movies, yeah. So during the 30th anniversary screening of Pulp Fiction last week, John Travolta revealed how he snagged the role of Vincent Vega. Of course, Tarantino was a huge fan, and he reached out to John's agent to arrange a meeting. So John went to Quentin's apartment, which coincidentally used to be John's apartment back in the day. What? A little coincidence
Wow,
for you,
how
huh?
about that?
How about, they spent almost 24 hours together, and the first thing they did was they played John Travolta board games. Seriously, Tarantino had the board games version of Saturday Night Fever, Welcome Back, Kotter, and Grease.
I did not even know those existed.
I didn't know they existed either.
What kind of board? Like, are these like Monopoly has these special editions or
Yeah.
something? What is it?
During each game, Quentin wanted John to randomly throw out lines his character would have said in different in the different shows, right? What was his line in Welcome Back, Kotter? He had a couple of them.
Gosh, I know. I never watched it.
I can't think of it
Before
anyway.
my time of
Anyway, after they were done playing, Travolta decided to help Tarantino with his finances since he was a young struggling artist. So they sat down and went through everything. They made sure Quentin was on the right path. A week later, he gave Travolta Pulp Fiction. And the reason why, he told him, quote, "It was you helping me with my finances. You had this analytical, theoretical, philosophical viewpoint that I wanted for that character." And that's how John Travolta got the part as Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction.
Well, he killed it.
Can't see anybody else
No.
doing it really can't. They were just talking, Samuel L. Jackson the other day, it was a People magazine article, and he was reflecting around, I mean, he's been in a very long working relationship with Quentin Tarantino. It's not just Pulp Fiction. But he said that their relationship kicked off, a 30-year friendship and filmmaking together, and he said that he is down to make another Pulp Fiction, and he is down to do whatever Quentin Tarantino does. I don't know if they would ever do it. I mean, there's no need to make a
Please do not
second.
make a sequel to
I
that movie.
know,
Let it be.
There's no need to. There really isn't.
You
but-
know,
This almost seems to be becoming like a normal mentality amongst everybody in Hollywood. Do we have to redo what's already been made?
Now, that's the thing. Would it be a sequel or a remake of the original? And is it a remake if the original
don't
director?
remake it.
Yeah, just leave it
Don't
be.
remake
leave
it.
be.
Come up with a script that's something similar to what you think it is and just give it a new name.
Right.
Give it a different name. Let it be its own standalone. Why do we have to reinvent the wheel?
Is it Happy Gilmore that's getting a sequel?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched the original on the plane this morning. And I'm like, this movie is so great. I'm like, please just leave it be.
But it is Adam Sandler backing it, and it's him in it too, right?
And I'll watch it. I will watch it. And you know what? Giving it a current day spin. Look, golf is way more popular now than it was back in the mid 90s when Happy Gilmore came out. Arguably, you would say there are those that would say golf became popular because of Happy Gilmore.
Or Tiger Woods.
Well, I
either
mean,
one, yes.
Tiger.
It was clearly
Yes.
Tiger, but I mean, putting it into the main. I think Happy Gilmore came out before Tiger Woods was really on the PGA Tour, right?
Man, I don't know. I got to look into
I'd
that.
have to look it up.
Or
Yeah.
simultaneously. I mean, it could have been the thing, but you know, I'm watching. There's a series on Netflix called Full Swing, and it's in its second series, and I'm like, all right, I got done watching the second season, the second season. I'm just gonna go right into Happy Gilmore, and it's so dated. I'm wondering if you can if there is a modern day approach to it, and if he starts bringing in the stars like Rory McIlroy and all these other guys that are the tops in their game right now, it might be a little bit different. Like, who's going to play Shooter McGavin nowadays? Like, who's that? Well, it's going to be an actor. It's going to be somebody like Shooter McGavin, but I guarantee you they're going to have the current day stars.
They can have an arrogant character come in, but they can also have real golfers come in. I mean, you could have such a storyline off of John Daly if he'd be willing, and something tells me he would be.
Absolutely.
Right? You know,
absolutely.
The price is wrong, bitch.
That scene. Oh my God, Bob Barker beat the crap out of him. I love it.
And we didn't
Rest
kill
in
him, right?
peace.
I mean, Christopher McDonald is still around, so he could still come back.
No,
as
yeah, he's
Shooter
still
McGavin.
around. Yeah, no,
I was going to say, did we kill him off? Because
what did I see him in recently? He was in. I don't want to say it was. I think it was a Fargo series.
Okay.
And he was like the sheriff in the town or whatever. And man, he had that same Shooter McGavin mindset and that mentality of just being a schmarmy douche.
Yep, because we don't have Carl Weathers anymore.
Right.
Who was Chubbs.
Right.
Lost him this past year. And then, of course, who you just played, Bob Barker. But yeah, I mean, they can still do it, bring back the older characters. But I did look it up. Happy Gilmore, 96.
96.
Tiger Woods Pro, 96.
Boom. Simultaneous.
Yeah.
The trajectory. They both launched at the same time.
They did. They both launched at the same time, which I find interesting.
Well, you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Franny? Were you ever a big fan of the franchise?
I watched them in the 80s with my family.
If you're not a Star Wars fan or you never watched them before and maybe you're interested in seeing them, you can get paid possibly $1,000 to watch them, but they're looking for somebody who's never seen them before. And of course, they're doing a little play here on, of course, one of the characters in there. Finance Buzz wants to pay a Wookiee rookie $1,000 to watch all 9 Star Wars movies. This is all the Skywalker saga versions. They want someone who has never seen them, as I said, seen any of the movies or the TV shows either. So, like if you watch Mandalorian or any of those other spinoffs, they want somebody fresh right from the beginning. The chosen one will give an outsider's perspective and will rate and evaluate the movies in order they were released. So it's going to start with Star Wars, or what they often call now Episode 4.
So I was going to say, let me ask, because I have not really been, I would be a good candidate because, I watched them back in the 80s. I don't remember much about them, just a few things. But anything else that happened after the fact in the TV shows, I have no idea what's going on. But I do know that there were prequels, and so they were kind of out of order. So are they going to make them watch
it? Was 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then everything thereafter.
Right.
So are they starting from the beginning from when the first Star Wars was released, or are they going to try to do it in order of
Yep, in order of release is
Of
how
release.
Oh,
how
order of release. So they have to go
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
and so
Okay.
on. Sure.
They want you to watch them in
Got
order
it.
of their release, and
Okay.
that's why starting with they all to me it'll always be Star Wars. When it was released in 1977, it was that right. I was just a young kid, but still and all, I mean it was super big back then. But episode 4 is what they call it now. It's 25 hours and 7 minutes worth of movie watching. So Finance Buzz will also add in $100 for snacks.
Oh, how nice.
I like that. When you see little snippets like that in these news articles, it kills me. And streaming fees if you need. You must be 18 in order to apply, and applicants are being accepted until, of course, what day?
May the 4th.
May 4th. That's
be
right.
with
Yep.
you.
You can go to financebuzz.com. You search for Wookiee Rookie, and you can find it there if you really want to try it. But no, you wouldn't even be eligible for any because you have seen something.
They don't know
even though it's a while
that.
ago. Well, yeah, lie. Lie.
Only you guys know that. I don't remember
And
any
everybody
of it.
listening.
I was a kiddo because
hold on.
they.
Yeah, you gotta lie. You gotta lie.
I don't know that. It's $1,000. No, it also that's a lot of time of your life. Those movies are long.
Mm-hmm.
How much are we talking? How long do you think with those movies all added up? Does it give you an
You said
amount?
25 hours, right? Yeah.
25 hours and 7 minutes
Yeah.
of movie watching.
Yeah, no thanks.
No, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Fun fact.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that Lucasfilms actually owns the copyright for May the 4th?
I did not
Oh, does
know
he
that.
really?
Yeah. And
No,
so
I did not
obviously-
know that.
Obviously, May the 4th, he's got that. So all the nerds started coming out 10, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, with the May the 4th. Happy May the 4th. They,
Yeah, when did that
they trademarked
start?
it.
When did that May the 4th start? And
I feel like it
it's
was like
become a
15
holiday now. And
I feel it's like about 10, 15 years ago. Could
Yeah.
be wrong, but I mean, it was, as soon as it became a thing, Lucasfilms trademarked it.
maybe they started having like Comic Cons or something around that
Probably
time
it.
frame, you know, and
That's probably it,
somebody coined that or came up with the item. May the 4th. Oh, yeah. The Comic Con's on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. You know, that, I can see something like that.
It doesn't feel like
happening.
it's been around that long. It doesn't. I haven't. At least I don't hang out with that many people who like Star Wars that much. But I feel like it just maybe in the last 10 years have I heard May the 4th.
Saying May the 4th, I don't know, 20 years in my time frame, in my mind of what we've
Sounds
talked
right.
about.
Let's
you know?
go with that.
Yeah. Dan and I
Yeah.
and Glenn used to
Okay.
go up
Same,
and see
right.
whenever
Yeah.
the new Star Trek or Star Wars movie would come out, and it's kind of been around. It feels like that long anyway.
So, kind of sticking on the same subject, we're going to talk space. Today is April's full moon. There's also going to be meteor showers. They're both happening this week. They said the full moon, known as the pink moon, is going to peak today. And the meteor shower, they said peaked yesterday, but you can still see a little bit of it. They say the moon may outshine the meteor shower. So for best viewing, which is really difficult for us, unless you go somewhere out west, get away from city lights is what they say. And then I saw this. I was like, all right, this is really weird. So there's a group of scientists, and they have come up with an idea to preserve our endangered species here. Have you guys heard this?
I
To the
saw
moon.
To the moon.
I saw the headline.
I
on
was
it.
like, what? Yeah.
Once you hear the logic, it makes sense.
They're proposing, the scientists, the construction of a lunar, a biorepository? Is that what it's-
Biorepository,
Yeah,
yeah.
on the moon that would house endangered plants and cells from endangered animals. But they're like, all right, well, why on the moon? So there's no place on Earth cold enough to do it. This is the senior research scientist. Her name is Mary Hagedorn, and also works with the Smithsonian. So she said, let's imagine that. Unfortunately, climate change wiped out 90% of the Great Barrier Reef, which is absolutely insane, right? 90%. So, well, in 100 years, we might be able to just give them back all that diversity. Said although the project is likely several years away from coming to fruition, the Smithsonian is already running tests to make sure that it's going to work. Scientists have collected 10 specimens of starry goby fish, which they plan on testing in a space-like condition on Earth. And they said if that works, they plan on putting the specimens on the space station just to see how they hold up. So very interesting.
And they want a cold climate, they're
Yeah,
saying.
they need it.
Interesting. All right. Well, that explains that part of it.
Yep. So we're going to have endangered species on the moon and humans on Mars is what's going to be coming up in the future.
Let's get a colony up there.
Could you imagine being an alien species, an alien with high intelligence and able to travel through the galaxy? We're putting our hypothetical hats on here.
You mean they're done already?
Right.
All right.
I think they're already here, but what does it matter what I think? Regardless, and they're just kind of in their spaceship and they're going through the Milky Way galaxy and they're like, oh, what's this little solar system over here? And they find our solar system and they're like, oh, they just kind of go right by
That's what
Earth.
it sounds like, yeah.
And then they see our
Got the Jetsons car.
Yeah,
That sounds very
exactly.
similar to a Jetsons car.
and they see our big satellite, the moon, and they discover all of those species on the moon, they're like, oh, cool, we just found another alien life form on the moon, and they just bypass Earth completely. Now, as soon as I said that, they're going to go on the moon. They're going to see Earth and be like, oh, yeah, there's definitely something there. We have to go there now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they've already been here. I mean, you've already said it.
I am an alien.
Yeah, we know.
I'm illegal from Mexico.
Speaking of aliens, I think there might be a lot here in Florida. I just do. I think that, I know. He loves a good probe. I think we might have a lot here in Florida, considering all the craziness that happens here. That's why we have a segment called What the Florida, including a barefoot wrangler. I'll tell you about this person. And then, why did a prison guard go to jail herself? A prison guard from jail is now behind bars. And then we have a key lime golden retriever. Yes, you heard that right. I have those stories coming your way. And I almost said, let's get weird. And you're What the Florida on Real Radio 92.1.
The visual aid you need for all the freaky stuff we talk about on the radio. Find it at realradio921.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Doug Plagans, radio voice of your Florida Panthers. The Panthers host the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight for Game 2 of their first-round best-of-7 Stanley Cup playoff series. The Panthers lead the series 1-0. We'll have all the action tonight, beginning with Panthers preview at 7. The puck drops at 7:30 at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. We're giving you 13 shots a day to score $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe it. Woo! Every weekday from 9:05 in the morning to 9:05 at night, we're giving you a keyword at 5 past the hour. Take that keyword and enter it at realradio921.com. Every keyword is worth $1,000.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
It's $1,000 in your hand. Good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
The Grand in Your Hand on Real Radio is sponsored by Greenway Kia.
Head on over to Greenway West Palm Beach Kia right now for the largest selection of new, fuel-efficient 2024 Kias. They're overstocked and highly motivated to make you an incredible deal, because we want to see you in a West Palm Beach Kia.
Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
95 and the Turnpike, both up to speed on the Tuesday afternoon drive. Looking good on the expressways. Make sure that you slow down for bicycles on your ride today. That's traffic. I'm Judy Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
What could you do in 15 minutes? How about a premium oil change? At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, our certified technicians will guide you in, use only premium products, and get you back out on the road in no time. Quick, easy, trusted. That's Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Hey, it's the Greek for Jason Weiser, my attorney. Whether you were injured due to a car accident or a medical malpractice issue, a slip and fall, or any kind of injury due to a fault of another, their team can help you. Board-certified personal injury attorneys. They can help you determine the responsibility party and pursue the damages and justice you deserve. Contact them at 561-689-8180, 561-689-8180. No fees unless they win. Jason Weiser, my attorney for over 20 years.
In Florida, hurricanes are a part of life. That's why over 100,000 Floridians have made Storm Smart a part of theirs. Our Category 5 storm catcher screens, shutters, and high-impact windows are designed to help protect your home from hurricane winds, rain, and airborne debris. In fact, Storm Smart can protect every opening in your home. If you live in Florida, extreme weather is a part of life. But for year-round storm protection, you can count on Storm Smart. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Hey there, it's Franny. Selling your car just got easier than ever with GimmeTheVin.com. Are you ready to pocket the most cash for your used car hassle-free? Because who doesn't love more money with less stress? GimmeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer for a reason. They'll beat your written CarMax offer or cut you a check for $100. It's that simple. Plus, they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and backed by thousands of online reviews. Sell your car the easy way with GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
When the optimistic Billy Halpern meets a suspicious end, authorities focus on an ex-cop turned criminal, but the investigation goes nowhere for decades. Listen to the podcast Cold-Blooded as two investigators uncover a shocking motive in the pursuit of justice for Billy Halpern.
He was good looking, he was funny, everyone liked him. It's just a shame that they took him from us.
Listen to Cold-Blooded on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Cold-Blooded to start listening.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like One Hit Wonders.
This is the story of
Just search One Hit Wonders and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Real Radio weather.
From the Gordon Partners Weather Center. Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
Continuing that warm up throughout the afternoon, we'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s for our highs today. Cloudless sky overnight tonight as we cool back down. Upper 60s and low 70s for our overnight lows. High pressure settles in over the next few days, keeping our temperatures right around where they should be for this time of year, in the low 80s for our highs.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of how one woman found her long-lost father just blocks away from her childhood home. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you bbeen in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. For $1,000 now. Enter the nationwide keyword FUN at realradio921.com. That's FUN. Enter it now at realradio921.com, and good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, welcome back into the Penthouse. Thank you so very much for tuning in. 92.1, 101.7 on that FM dial. And, of course, the absolutely free iHeartRadio app. Good afternoon to you. This is Franny. And good afternoon to you, Jimmy.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon.
And, of course, we have Jason with us. Good afternoon, Jason.
Hi, my name's Jason. I'm from the Jason and Franny Morning Show on 98.7 The Gator, the Palm Beach's rock station.
Love the plug. Before we get into Florida stories, speaking of, we said hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Glad to hear you on the radio, Jason. Happy you're back, brother. There is one of those movie theaters across from Home Depot on Lake Worth Road, and it's packed all the time. All right. Somebody says, just a quick question, Jason. Do you still talk to Dr. Rich? If you are new to the program, we had a show for years and years and years called The Love Doctors, and Dr. Rich was the host. It says, y'all be good, and that's from Chad. So
I do. It's been about a month or so, but I talk to him pretty regularly. Yeah, he's doing well, living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, really?
That's right.
All right. Very, very cool. I'll actually be in Baton Rouge
Next
coming up
weekend, right?
Well, no, this weekend I'm going to be in New Orleans for Jazz Fest. But coming up in late fall, I have a wedding in Baton Rouge. I've never been there before.
Oh, fancy.
So fancy. All right, well, is that time where we get into Florida stories?
Florida.
Florida.
Did you say
Florida?
I'm from Florida.
WTF.
What the Florida?
Well, this is a rarity, and I'm talking about a adorable little puppers named Shamrock. And the reason why they gave this golden retriever the name Shamrock is because he came out with key lime green fur. Yes, all the other pups, normal color. This one was key lime green. They were like, what the heck is going on? Yep. Born here right in Florida, which is like none other than the key lime state. The unusual coloration is a pretty rare occurrence, but it's where the puppy is stained in the womb by green bile. It sounds so gross, doesn't it? Yeah. But it's like, how come all the other ones don't get this?
Aren't you glad you came in?
I sure am.
Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah.
But it's like, right, the one puppy gets it, but the rest don't. Is he just the only one hanging out, rolling around in the green bile?
Maybe he's just that super absorbent.
Maybe that's it. Just very porous fur. They said, although...
It's like Charmin.
Yes.
Yes. This is a rare occurrence, but it is temporary. So it's not like
Got
the
it.
pupper is going to grow up and be green forever. But they said that this dog has gained millions of views on TikTok. And this came from the Golden Treasures Kennel. They shared the puppy story, and they said, as of now, the puppy's color has changed. It faded, and now it's back to normal. But very, very weird. You don't see that often. And then, yes, why is this prison guard now a former prison guard? Well, it's simple. She had sex with an inmate, and we've got pretty solid evidence.
I bet it was.
That would be a baby.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. That is, yes. Former prison guard is being held without bond. They said because there is an investigation that did reveal that she gave birth to an inmate's love child. Her name is Rachel Drum, and she's from, so do you know where this is? I like to play this game in Florida, because a lot of times I don't know these cities. Yalaha.
Yalaha?
Yalaha. Yalaha.
Yalaha.
Do you know where that is?
I'm going to go with, can we break it down into the three states that Florida is: South, Central, and Panhandle? I'm going to go with North Central.
Okay. I have no idea.
All right, Jimmy, any guesses?
I'm going to go with Central Florida, like right around Okeechobee area,
Okay.
right around the lake somewhere.
Yahala is.
Yahala.
Let's see, where the hell is Yahala Pizza and Pita is what's popping up here.
Oh, it's near, I got you right here. It's near Leesburg and Howie in the Hills. Does that help?
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Lake County.
So yeah, I was right.
All right.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you're pretty close.
It's up there by Okahumpka and all the. Okay,
I
yeah,
don't
I
know
see
how
it
to
now.
say
Yeah,
any-
Okahumpka.
It's
That's
so
where I'm
hard
going.
to say any of these.
It is that's the northernmost service plaza on the turnpike
Okay.
before it gets to 75 there. But yeah,
Got it. That was the one I could finally use when we were taking a road trip separately up to Universal Studios Orlando, and I could not use any of the other service stations because there were bomb threats.
I remember that was crazy.
Like, I gotta pee so bad. So she is, felony charges of sexual misconduct. She clearly was having sex with an inmate. They found out who it was, Jonathan Marrero. Well, she gave the baby's last name as Marrero too. And not just that, she was sending pictures of the infant. She was sending videos, videograms, she said, encouraging the child to say goodnight to Dada and stuff like that.
My God.
Posted photos of the baby on her Facebook page. So she wasn't really smart about this, hopefully knowing that she did something illegal by sleeping with an inmate. They did obtain finally some DNA samples and found out that he is the father, and she is now in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of sucks for the baby though. And then this video is everywhere. I have to get this posted because if you have not seen it, it is absolutely insane. This guy's not a first timer to it, but when you watch the video before you get details, you're kind of like, this is definitely a Florida man. He went toe-to-toe with a huge alligator in Jacksonville, and he lived to tell the tale. Michael Dragic had no tools with him except his bare hands. This guy's barefoot, too, and he wrangled an 8-foot gator. This is downtown Jacksonville. It's like, what you doing? And so they said that it did not stop him from quickly getting on top of the alligator as it tried to waddle away, clamping his mouth shut, giving it a big bear hug to walk it. He said it was running towards the cops and a crowd of people, and everybody was just screaming. Luckily, this guy is an MMA fighter. He's known as Blue Collar Brawler on social media. And not just that, I've heard that it's not his first time wrangling alligators.
Okay, well, he's got a little experience.
He's done this before between MMA and that. So the video has gone quite viral, and I will get that up for you shortly, realradio921.com. And that is your What the Florida. So, Jimmy, speaking of Florida, we have a mode of transportation that I don't think you've been on yet. I know Jason has.
Brightline?
I know I have. Brightline.
Yeah.
Love it. Love that fast train.
Did you know that there is another Brightline that's out there? And it's a sister company, right? There's Brightline West. Yeah, well, apparently they just broke ground on a new rail system high-speed rail system that's going to go between Los Angeles, basically Los Angeles. It's just outside of Los Angeles, and Las Vegas, right? And we've been talking about that for quite a while now. I know Elon wanted to do that, that Hyperloop thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know whatever came about that, but apparently Brightline just broke ground. They're going to put in a $12 billion passenger bullet train that, like I said, is going to link Vegas and Los Angeles, which is dubbed the first true high-speed rail in the nation, because that's the one thing about the Brightline that we have here. There's so many areas that has to slow down because of the congestion here in South Florida. But out there,
can I say something real quick about Brightline? No,
go on,
please,
Jimmy.
please, I have something.
What's up?
Brightline. We talk about people, they're like, Brightline hits all these cars. No, these cars are stupid.
Yeah.
Because the other day, Jupiter, Indiantown Road, right in the middle of the tracks during a red light, just chilling. Just because there was a car in front of him, car behind him, red light, the car is sitting on the tracks. And I was like, and this is the problem.
Yep.
And this is why.
Happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
It's not Brightline's fault.
It's not their fault. They tell you, there's commercials. They're letting you know, like, hey, you can't beat the train. We will always win. But I was shocked. Thank God nothing happened, but it was the tracks that the Brightline goes on. And this car is sitting there for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that.
I don't either.
It obviously does not end well. We've seen even sometimes there was an incident, we didn't really get into it, but where a school bus almost ran into a problem with a train up in Fort Pierce not too long ago.
Really?
And he tried to beat the train, allegedly, to get across. But, the thing is with the school buses, they have to...
They always stop.
They have to. They have to by law, right?
Yeah.
Anybody with hazardous materials or school buses in general, they have to stop by law at railroad tracks, but obviously prior to, right? And of course, once you stop and you look both ways, you can proceed through. And that's what it looks like in the video on that one. But I don't know what... I think there's more to it than we can see in the video.
Sure.
That's why I didn't quite get into it too much. But this one... So Brightline has Brightline West. Didn't know that, but anyway, they do. System this track is going to be about 218 miles, mostly along Interstate 15 out there, and is expected to be the nation's first true high-speed intercity rail network. The route there's a map for it too, is expected to take around 30,000 travelers per day. They're estimating between Rancho
Cucamonga.
That's it right there. California and Vegas, which that is just east of Las Vegas or Los Angeles. I'm sorry. It's an all-electric train too, by the way. Can reach speeds up to 200 miles an hour with a typically 4-hour travel time between the two cities.
Wait, so it's EV? Let's ban it.
Yeah.
Nope, got to burn the gas. Let's make it happen.
It's California. They're like, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
God forbid it be efficient.
And it's going to cut that 4-hour travel time down to about 2 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're going to get it down to 2 hours.
It's going to be successful out there. Look, there's been a lot of take out politics and everything out of it, which is always hard to do. But there's been a lot of conjecture as to whether or not Brightline has been successful here and how much money it's cost and the foreign injection of money and all that other stuff. But look, connecting Los Angeles to Las Vegas is going to be huge. I mean, and especially if you can cut that travel time down in half.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
Sure is. Sister company Brightline opened its Miami-Orlando line last year. Of course, we know that down here. Its trains will reach up to 125 miles per hour. The International Union of Railways defines high-speed rail as new rail lines capable of doing at least 155 miles per hour. So if you're curious as to what that stipulation is, the Rancho
Cucamonga
station will offer a connection to Southern California's commuter rail service. The $12 billion project aims to alleviate traffic strain over 44,000 vehicles per day across California-Nevada border around I-15, right? So it's going to bring some of that down. And the project is expected to be completed in 4 years to coincide with the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. I didn't even know that. That was another little tidbit
no idea
in there that
because we got Paris this year, yes. Okay,
So-
and then LA in 28. Great.
I guess we're getting it next. I didn't even know that. So how about that? Yeah, no, I think this is a great idea. Matter of fact, the Hyperloop, was that?
The Hyperloop,
That's what I was going to ask about. That's the underground Tesla thing. What's going on with that? I haven't even heard any updates. And if you don't know, it's an all-electric, zero-emissions, high-speed underground public transportation system. But it's just for Teslas or EV vehicles, or how's that?
It's a passenger. I don't want to call it a passenger rail type concept, but for lack of a better description, that's what it is. You get inside of a tube-like vessel, and you in essence hover, and it just takes you to your next destination quickly, a lot quicker. I think even faster than 200 miles an hour, like the high-speed rail is.
I never saw an actual number with that. I mean, the idea is you're basically in a tube, and, it just shoots you through. I know that
But you're in a Tesla vehicle, correct? Or you're in loop vehicles?
It's a loop vehicle.
So
it's like getting on a train. You're in a capsule, if you will.
Oh,
It's not. You're not. It's not for Tesla cars.
Well, everything that you see when you go to the Boring Company, when you look at the loop, it looks like there's Teslas in the tunnel.
Yeah,
that's what they.
So here's the thing.
That's what they show. They show it like it's a Tesla in there.
This is my theory, or my mindset on it. It's a good theory that they haven't fully thought out yet, but they were so excited about it, they wanted to release the concept to the public. And it's just like watching anything that Elon or Tesla is involved with. Look at this Cybertruck. He said it was going to be out in like 2020, 2021 or whatever. And finally, here we are 4 years later. It's finally coming to fruition, but you're seeing all sorts of stuff. I read a story this morning of a guy that took it through a car wash, and now it doesn't work at all, even though he put the car wash mode on, which covers up the electronics. Like, I appreciate the forward thinking and the progressive thought that the company has when they're doing it and trying to upgrade transit systems and all that other stuff, but set realistic expectations. Don't say, oh, we're all going to be in EVs by 2025, or we're all going to have the access to the Hyperloop in 2030 or whatever it might be.
Well, it was a concept.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're still building on that, but it's like, all right, don't add so much hyperbole to something. Be realistic about it. Don't set a date when you're not even close to doing something like that. For instance, the Hyperloop was supposed to be able to get you from Cleveland to Chicago in 30 minutes.
Right.
That's a 5.5 hour drive.
But the infrastructure to build around that is just so massive that it would take so long you'd never get there.
Right.
And again,
and
it's
so
all
when you go underground in certain parts of the world, you got to worry about fault lines. You got to worry about all sorts of other stuff. So it's like you got to think about all this other stuff.
Now, the idea of it coming one day would be absolutely awesome. Matter of fact, I never heard about that being in like Chicago to Cleveland.
I didn't either.
Type
I
thing.
thought it was more California.
Yeah, I always heard that at least the initial one was what this is going to be. This Brightline West is creating basically the putting Vegas and Los Angeles together. The idea of what it does with the electric, though, is very similar to what we see now in roller coasters, right? Like the Velociraptor up at Universal, right? Where it shoots you out with those electric, the electromagnetic type of propulsion.
I wouldn't know. I was never able to get on that ride because of my friend and his loud mouth. Anyway, it's a whole other story.
But the idea,
it's great. You're missing out. It's a really fun ride.
That's the idea behind it. And of course, it's I know that there's one, and I guess you want to call it high-speed rail in China that uses that same concept. They just I think they're starting to work on it. Or
Is it
it's
underground
completed.
as well, too?
No, it's
or
above ground, but it's a real bullet train. It's they're going to get 300 miles an
That's
hour
great.
on that thing.
That's fantastic. fantastic.
So it's absolutely wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a great idea.
Absolutely.
In order to get to move people around more. The problem with high-speed rail has been in the past that, we're trying to work off our old rail system, and I think that is a better idea of going to something like that, those electric magnetic type of rail system, but it requires to be built from scratch.
Right.
And of course, us Americans, we love our cars too.
And
we're so vastly laid out.
For we try to be very progressive, and you think we were, but we are kind of behind the times. I mean, you've been there, and I know in Europe, they have the fast trains in a lot of the countries there.
Yep.
And that was the only way that we traveled when we were going from city to city.
So much easier.
And it gets and they move faster than the Brightline does here. So it is. We're kind of behind the times when it comes to that.
The one point to make on that is that in Europe, the cities, they're obviously densely populated, but they're also a lot closer together.
Yeah,
if when you're looking at, let's look at the expanse of North America and how far away Atlanta is from Orlando or West Palm or whatever. It's huge versus all right, cool. Well, I can get from Munich to Switzerland in 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, one country is smaller than Texas,
Exactly.
So
Right.
I do understand that. And then speaking of, I was just going through the whole car buying purchase, and with talking with the guys, they said that EV sales are down by a lot.
Oh, they had
the
first quarter
20% or something.
Yeah, first quarter of 2024 was just absolutely disastrous for EV sales.
Yep.
And I think I read that Elon Musk and Tesla's cutting 10,000 jobs or something like that. 10,000 or 100,000 jobs across the way there. So, I mean, it's still in its genesis. It's still in its early stages, the EVs and all of this electronic vehicle type stuff.
Well, the one you were talking about, the Cybertruck, that dude whose car broke down because of the car wash,
right.
They were saying they had to call Tesla. Tesla had to come out, and they had to basically just restart the whole car and reset it. And he was without a vehicle for 5 hours.
Well, even after that, it only lasted for a little while, and it still broke down again.
I know.
Yeah.
I've only seen one of those around
I was
town.
going to ask, have you seen any in the wild yet?
I have. I've seen one out in the wild, Palm Beach Gardens, Jupiter area. I'm guessing it's one. I'm just seeing the same one over and over again because I have not seen that many. I just don't get it. I don't. I mean, I understand you want to have the coolest new technology gadget. They're pricey, and somebody's got to have it. They're just not very attractive cars to me. It's my personal opinion.
I was it was at the Jupiter Indiantown Road exit where I saw the
probably the same
Cybertruck.
one.
Probably the same guy. This thing is hideous.
It is.
Yeah,
but you probably go in and we're like, man, this is like a spaceship.
Most Teslas feel like a spaceship. Yeah.
Well, that and because there's very little there until you light it up, right? And then all of a sudden it's like one big giant screen in there. I mean, I love the idea of electric. I really wanted to look into it.
Same.
The problem is they're too expensive.
Yep.
They don't help the environment all that much because of what's required to get all the lithium out of the earth and all that. I mean, that's very arguable as to whether or not it's really going to help us all that much. And that's the only other that. And after 10 years or 100,000 miles, you got to put a new battery in it, and that's upwards of $10,000 to $20,000.
You might have to put a new battery in it. It's not guaranteed. I've seen a friend of mine's got a Tesla. He's got 160,000 miles on its same original battery. So I mean, it's still new.
Yep.
It is.
So it's in what. I also have somebody that I know that has a Tesla and had to replace it after 35,000 miles, but it was under warranty at that point. So I mean, it just needs to be. We need more time with it.
Yeah.
No, look, I also just bought a new ride too, and I was all in on the EV, but I'm like, I'm just not going to pull the trigger on it, and I got a traditional ICE engine, and I'm like, and I love it, still love it.
Yeah. I really am looking forward to seeing. I know Toyota is working very heavily on hydrogen.
Right.
And I think that's going to be a good solution to if we really want to work on the environment and whatnot, because I mean, obviously that's everywhere. Hydrogen is everywhere, and it's easily put into a gas station that we currently have.
Sure.
Just add a tank. It has the same type of refueling process. I think it's a great way to go, and I'm hoping that technology develops well for us too someday.
There is another electric technology that I noticed when I was in Europe last year, and it's a liquid fuel cell technology that somehow it uses. And I wish I had all the information in front of me because it was very neat. The liquid that you put inside the vehicle, it goes over top of these fuel cells, and that's what actually generates the power that you need to do it.
And they're already utilizing those. Vehicles.
Yes, and it's much more sustainable. You were talking about the hydrogen vehicles. It's a much more sustainable type of propulsion system, but I just can't remember what the hell it was called.
And it exists
Liquid
already, and they
fuel
have
cell,
them
I
there.
think.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, hydrogen vehicles
Don't bring
exist
them
too,
here.
but they're over in Japan, and like I said, Toyota seems to be the
weird
one
though, yeah,
company
so-
that's kind of pushing them forward a little bit. But
So the
of course,
technology and the science there, we just don't have them here yet.
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to change Americans' minds, unfortunately.
Speaking of your mind, we want to ask you some questions, and we're going to ask the Penthouse, the crew that's here with us today, myself, Jason, and of course, Jimmy. We're going to go around the horn, and we're going to be playing at what age should someone be able to do blank? We got a bunch of questions. I want you to participate with us. We're going to have that coming up. But first, we do have a trifecta, and just a heads up. Actually, you know what? Not a heads up. How about we do them a solid, and let's give them that 1 o'clock keyword for $1,000 in your hands before time is up for them to enter that.
Sure. You got about another 24 minutes. You can go to realradio921.com. A little window is going to pop right up for you. Enter the keyword FUN, F-U-N, at realradio921.com, and you'll be entered this hour's $1,000. $1,000 in your hand. That could be yours.
Yep, pick up the phone. Somebody calls you, unknown name. I don't know, maybe it says spam. Probably not, but maybe it has a 513 area code. Just pick up the phone because that is your one opportunity. We will only call you once to let you know you won $1,000. If you don't answer that phone call, we move on to the next person. So get yourself $1,000. We will be back in just a few minutes on Real Radio 92.1.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
Third season premiere of The Morning Show on Apple TV and the series premiere of The Other Black Girl on Hulu.
I hope that's what it's called.
It's called that. Of course, why would I say that?
The News Junkie. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
Problem-free ride along the Palm Beaches expressways are up to speed. We are looking good. Not seeing any accidents on the Turnpike or 95. Make sure you slow down for pedestrians on your commute. That's traffic. I'm Jody Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
What could you do in 15 minutes? How about a premium oil change? At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, our certified technicians will guide you in, use only premium products, and get you back out on the road in no time. Quick, easy, trusted. That's Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Hayes the Greek, and it's Monroe's at Palm Beach, where 7 days a week you can find the beautiful girls and a great atmosphere and a 5-star menu. And Friday night is Fetish Fridays. Make sure you get there on a Friday to kick off your weekend. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. That's where all the beautiful ladies are, and they will make you feel like a winner. Stop in Monroe 7 days a week and enjoy yourself and have a beautiful lady by your side. It's Monroe's at Palm Beach. Make sure it's on your agenda. It's always on mine. Peace.
Hi there, I'm Mia. I'm Air.
You're Air?
Yeah, I just got out of the lungs of someone smoking a cheap little cigar outside a bodega. Oh, it was so smoky in there. And where there's smoke, there's
fire.
Cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, little cigars might taste sweet, but they still kill. I'm supposed to be helping people, not unhelping them.
You mean hurting?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm a bit of an airhead.
Little cigars are just as dangerous as regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
To me, the most important word in the world is dignity. There are certain God-given rights to be fed, to have shelter, medicine, and clothing. When many of our clients come to us, they face the great risk of losing much of what they have. In some cases, losing everything. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In one instant, an accident, a natural disaster, or the intentional acts of others can threaten our dignity. Whether it's the loss of a paycheck, paying medical bills, enduring a life of pain and suffering, or a claim with your own insurance company, or a business dispute, and you can't afford to pay a lawyer by the hour, your dignity hangs in the balance. You only pay us if we recover for you. Let my firm fight for you, your family, and your dignity. Call us for a free consultation. Dial pound law on your cell phone. That's pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
MMJ Health won Best Medical Marijuana Card Provider of the Year for a reason. We're known for giving the green light. And with 9 locations and a money-back guarantee, relief is easy. Meet with our doctors and see if you qualify instantly at mmjhealth.com.
Attention! Guarantee Media is giving away 6 days in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with all meals included for only $299 to the first 50 people to text the keyword travel to 96551. We give you 1 year to go on vacation. And if you are one of the first listeners to text, we will include an all-you-can-drink package and a second bonus destination to Las Vegas, Nevada. But you have to be one of the first 50 to text travel to 96551. Text travel to 96551. You heard right. A 6-day vacation to an all-inclusive resort in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for only $299. And if you are one of the first 50 to text travel to 96551, we will include an all-you-can-drink package and a second bonus destination to Las Vegas. Text travel to 96551. It's travel to 96551. This is not a contest. It is a paid advertising by Guarantee Media with the purpose soliciting sales on vacation ownership and not affiliated with iHeartMedia. Some terms and conditions apply.
When the optimistic Billy Halpern meets a suspicious end, authorities focus on an ex-cop turned criminal, but the investigation goes nowhere for decades. Listen to the podcast Cold-Blooded as 2 investigators uncover a shocking motive in the pursuit of justice for Billy Halpern.
He was good looking, he was funny, everyone liked him. It's just a shame that they took him from us.
Listen to Cold-Blooded on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Cold-Blooded to start listening.
News Junkie is sponsored by FAMU's Mary. Educate, learn, talk.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
Continuing that warm up throughout the afternoon, will be in the upper 70s and low 80s for our highs today. Cloudless sky overnight tonight as we cool back down. Upper 60s and low 70s for our overnight lows. High pressure settles in over the next few days, keeping our temperatures right around where they should be for this time of year, in the low 80s for our high.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
How do we stop the spread of anti-Semitism? This week on Red Pilled America, we answer that question by telling the story of the epic battle between Candace Owens and the Daily Wire. Listen to Red Pilled America wherever you get podcasts. That's Red Pilled America.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like One Hit Wonders Radio. The greatest one-hit wonders of all time. Ones you definitely remember.
I smell sex and candy.
And ones that'll make you say, oh yeah. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search One Hit Wonders, and listen now, commercial free. Free never sounded so good.
Greek's Trifecta is sponsored by the physicians at MMJ Health.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Hey, this is The Penthouse, and this is Franny taking the host chair for the day. We will have Greek back with us tomorrow, but thank goodness for Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello, and good afternoon.
And we have Jason from Mornings on The Gator, the Palm Beaches rock station. What's going on, Jason?
98.7 The Gator coming at you. Hi. Hi.
Yes.
Hi, Franny.
And if you haven't listened to The Gator in a while, check it out. Check it. Might sound a little different, a little fresh.
Yeah, because we're on there making
Little fresh.
We're on there making it fresh. We got Carmine on there afternoon.
Yeah.
Big Rig's still there. The
There you
music
go.
kicking ass nowadays. And just always want to thank everybody for being out there. If you haven't checked out The Gator in a while, do yourself a favor. Rock out with us for a
There
little
you
bit.
go. Check it out. Of course, we want you to listen to our morning show, Rover's Morning Glory, but every now and then you can go back and forth.
Yeah, Rover's okay, I suppose.
Jason and I. It is that, he's like, yeah, he's all right. It is that time for our final trifecta.
Riders up. It's Greek's Trifecta.
Well, if you missed the best NBA playoffs last night, you missed a couple of good endings of games. Jamal Murray hit a buzzer beater for the Nuggets, put them over the top 101-99, and they beat the Lakers. They're 2-0 up on that series. The Knicks also gave fans in Madison Square Garden another reason to erupt. They were down by 5 with 30 seconds to go, and they rallied it for a 104-101 win over the 76ers. And that next game is coming up on Thursday night in Philadelphia. Speaking of playoffs, we got hockey playoffs going on tonight.
Let's go,
That's
Cats.
Game 2 as your Florida Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers are up 1-0 in that series. They had a 3-2 victory on Sunday against the Lightning. So you can catch that game right here on Real Radio. We have a pregame starting at 7 o'clock, and puck drops at 7:30 at Amerant Bank Arena. And finally, we'll end it here for you Jets fans out there. You might be happy. Zach Wilson got traded to Denver for a bag of balls, so you don't have to worry about him being suited up in a Jets uniform this season. And there is your final trifecta of the day.
Well, thank you very much. And you have so many ways to participate with us. I have that text line in front of me at 47142. Started off with Real Radio. And that might be the best way to play along with us here. So we got a list of questions here. And I know, Jimmy, you've seen them too. And so it is, at what age should someone be able to do blank? We're going to fill in the blanks here, all right? And we're going to play amongst ourselves here in the Penthouse. And you can also play along, whether you're sitting at the office, in the car, whatever it is. So I want to know your opinion and mine. At what age, you guys, should someone be able to start dating? Now, I think it's different than having a little, like, in-school boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm talking about, like, going out on dates, right? Isn't that what you would consider it?
Mm-hmm.
Dating.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I mean, I did go on my first date when I was like 12 years old.
Well, but the parents were there or no?
No.
Really?
No, it was solo. I went with
all right.
Sarah Hyland.
Okay. But the parents drove you, obviously.
Actually, I think I rode my bike.
Did you? Did she sit on your handlebars?
No, that was the next girlfriend, actually. It was to see Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes version in 1996.
It's a great movie.
Fantastic movie.
Yes.
I mean, so, yeah, to your point, that's the little, high school relationship, pre-high school, middle school,
boyfriends.
But that's
and
it.
Stuff.
That's where it starts, right?
But legit dating,
12, 13,
actually,
14. I would say 14. 14-ish, I think, right around that. Obviously, every child is different, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, the maturity level.
Right.
But I would say, in general, 14 to 16.
Getting into high school age.
They can go out and do their own thing, go to the movies,
I think it's imperative to add a little context here.
Yes.
Are we getting handsy on these dates or not?
I don't want to know. I mean, yes, we don't know. It's just in general. What do you think is they're going to get handsy? I mean, we would be foolish to think that that's not happening.
I think Jimmy's on point with 14.
Me too. I would go 14. I like that 14 to 16. When you enter high school, you're 14 years old, 14, 15.
Yeah, somewhere around there,
Right?
right? That's when you want to go out and, you really like a girl, you're digging a girl, or you're digging a guy and you want to go to the movies or, that type of thing.
I
That's
also
all.
think
I'm just looking at it from that standpoint.
It's relevance
Not
to
getting laid, Jason.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to third base.
Laid. Okay, I just said getting handsy. That's all. This is part of the reason why I don't have children, because I don't want to deal with potentially having a girl and then having to murder a young man who's trying to get handsy with my daughter. That I don't want to have to contend with that.
And that's the thing. All of us don't have children. You do have stepchildren, but it's
Jimmy has stepchildren.
Yes, Jimmy does. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at Jimmy. But it's I think it's probably going to be a different answer for everybody. But as Jason said, I think a father listening who has a daughter is like, they're not dating until they're 18.
And I'll even take it one step further. My buddy Danny, who's got a kid, and she's just turning 10, and I'm like, I told him when she was born, I was like, look, bro, I know that you can't be the guy that kills another child. But if you need me to murder a young man for you, I'll do it. I will absolutely do it, because this kid.
You're a good friend.
I'll do it, man. I'll take care of business for him. I'll handle it.
Yep. So you can play along with
I'm
us.
not going to murder any children. I promise.
No. We will actually. Do you want us to burn that tape? Do you want us to do that?
Once it's out there, it's out there.
47142. Started off with Real Radio. This one's interesting.
What was your answer?
I agree. Around 14, 15.
Around 14, 15? Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I think parents are more apt to let young boys date sooner than young girls.
Of course they are.
But when you look at it, girls mature faster than boys.
Isn't
So
that
it
funny?
should be, it's just that,
I had a colleague that I work with when I was in Jersey, and this is when I was in my 20s. He was in his young 40s, somewhere around there. He had a daughter and a son and a daughter, right? And he told me at the time that he would not let his daughter date until she was 16. And I thought he was nuts. I'm like, what do you mean, 16?
I've heard that a lot, too.
And again, just as I've gotten older and I've gone through the somewhat of a parenting process, I get it now. I certainly do.
Yep. All right, this one is, because I think we were probably all, I'm curious how old you were the first time, but it says, at what age should someone be able to try alcohol for the first time? Now,
just trying it for the first time?
Trying it. So that's right. So it's weird how they
I was
word that.
11, and I would say the same.
Yeah, I was a
11,
kid.
12, 13, somewhere around there. You want to try it? Here's a sip of beer.
Yep.
Go ahead and try it, because you're probably not going to like it.
I was 4.
I
think that's a little young, right?
That is very young. It is.
And now it wasn't because they intentionally gave me. Dad did not give me a beer.
Little baby Jason stole it.
Little baby Jason knew that Dad used to keep his Coors Banquet beers out in the fridge in the garage, and I always wondered why Dad and Uncle Mark and everybody used to really enjoy these beers, but I couldn't have one, and I wanted to know why, and I wanted to know why it tasted so good. So I went and I stole the damn beer, ran off to my room, and drank the whole damn thing.
The whole thing at 4. How wasted were you?
That's pretty drunk.
I was going to say at 4.
And it's still one of my favorite beers to date.
Yeah, my mom let me, I think it was after my father passed, and she became a little bit more like, she knew we went through some hard times and stuff, and I think my mom was trying to go through one of those. I'm going to let you do things that I normally wouldn't. Like my mom's against piercings, everything. She took me to get my belly button pierced at 16. Just things to make us happy, and just to kind of also, even though you should always be a parent, not a friend, but I think she was also kind of trying to be a friend to us too, because she was doing her best. But I remember we were hanging out with her and her friends, and they let us have our first tequila shot. And I was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
Hoping that we would hate it. That's it. Just try it. You're going to hate it. You're never going to like it again. Guess what my favorite alcohol is?
Ding.
Yep.
And I know you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we would rather have you drink around us than out somewhere else.
Right.
You always heard that.
Very typical.
Yes. But yeah. So, okay. So besides our own experience, what do you think the age someone should be able to try alcohol for the first time?
To just try it.
Just to
try
try
a sip of a wine or a beer or something like that. Yeah.
Well, Franny, I think it's 21.
12 to 14 if it was my child.
Yeah.
I never dealt with that because they didn't care.
Right.
They didn't want to even try it.
I'm going teen years too. Teens. But obviously, if they're curious, I'm not going to go like if I have a kid and they don't even ask about it, I'll be like, here, have some.
Drink this.
Yeah.
Well, see, when you want to make something popular, ban it. We've heard that phrase many, many times. So once you're a kid and you're told you can't do this until you're 21,
Yep.
it makes you want to do it that much more.
And behind their back, which is scary.
Exactly. So you're going to be sneaky about it.
But-
Now, if you're a parent and you want to, mitigate that, I think it is helpful to say, hey, look, we know that you kind of want to try this. You've expressed that you've wanted to try it or whatever. Here, sit down, have a beer, share a beer with Dad. And we're going to talk about what this is, what it's doing to you, what it can do to you, the positive and negative ramifications of all that, and make it a learning experience as opposed to just saying, no, you can't do it because then that's what happened to me. It made me want to do it that much more. Man, I got hammered all the time when I was a teenager like an idiot,
See, you're one step past where I am in my mind, right? So you're at a point where you're trying to make it an adult teachable moment.
Sure.
I'm saying, here, you want to try a sip of wine? Here, go ahead. That's it.
Right.
You're not going to have a glass. You're not going to have a bottle. You're not going to have whatever. You're not going to drink a whole bottle of beer.
Sure.
Here, you want to try a sip? That's where I was going with it on
No,
yours.
of course.
Great learning
Got it.
experience
Sure.
and a great teachable moment, and I'm with you on that.
Right.
But
I
I,
mean,
would,
it's
I
also-
would bump that up to maybe 14 or 15.
Sure, and you're teaching responsibility at the
Yeah,
same time. You can say, "Hey, look, yes, you see me having a beer after work every other day, or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. This is what it is. I'm having one beer. There are, some people are prone to alcoholism or whatever it might be. Most importantly, know that if you have it before 21, it's going to interfere with your brain development and all that other stuff.
Don't we know?
To teachable. That's why I'm so stupid right now. It's because of the amount of brain cells that I killed when I was younger.
Can't remember anything.
That's why we're in radio.
Exactly.
I love a couple texts at 47142.
That didn't take long.
No, start off with Real Radio. It says, first dating age, I was 14. My teacher was 26. First time I had alcohol, I was 14. My teacher was 26. We have rules for dating my daughter. Number 1. You can't.
Yeah.
Number 2, see rule number 1.
Yep.
All right, so there you go. We got some more scenarios here. We'll fill in the blank here at 47, or I'm sorry, that's not, but you can participate at 47142. Started off with Real Radio. Okay, at what age should someone have to move out of his or her parents' house?
18.
I'm with you. I was ready. And it wasn't because I don't adore my mom. I mean, she didn't kick me out. I could stay with her as long as I wanted, but I wanted to do things on my own. I wanted that freedom. I wanted to feel like an adult. So I'm with you.
Screw it. 17. Get out before you're even legal. Get out.
18, try it. Try it out. If you can, obviously. I know things are harder. We have people living in their parents' house that have to move back in because it's very expensive to live.
Case by case basis. It really
It is.
depends on the person. It depends on the situation. It depends on look. There's families where hey, look, we need you to stay. We need you to help contribute to this
You're
house.
right.
We need to help you. We need your help to maintain rent and food and all that other stuff. But by and large, I mean,
I'll take 18.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with 18. I could not, to you, I shouldn't say I couldn't wait to get out, but I already had a place lined up when I was 17, and like, all right, as soon as you graduate, you can move out. Whatever. That was kind of how it was for me.
Sure.
And then, look, you learn responsibility, you learn accountability, you learn all of that stuff very early on. Now, if you're looking at sending your kid, or if you're a kid looking, college is an option. It's a different story. It depends on what your trajectory is. If you're going into the workforce immediately, if you're going to higher education, whatever it might be, there's different circumstances, but I think 18 is the number.
Yeah, that college experience is probably a lot of the first time that kids are obviously away from their parents. And my brother's 58; he's still living at home, technically, I
There you
guess.
go.
But he, that's the house we grew up in. And he stayed. He never went. He went to college. He had a job. He just stayed home. He had no reason to leave the house. He didn't care for having that independence and freedom like I did. When I was 19, I was dating a girl, and it was one of those things that I was one night a week, 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week. I stayed there overnight, and then it just eventually became every night of the week. And then at another point in time, I was in an apartment, and then, different things happened in my life, but it was younger for me, and that's just the circumstances at the time. I don't think there's a time frame, though. I wouldn't put an age on that one. I think your initial assessment there was when it's appropriate for you is probably the best answer. At least that's how I would answer it.
And I'll add some thoughts to that as well. I think it's also I think it's also part of who you are. I don't want to bring gender into it, but I think guys are more apt to want to have their own place quicker than girls are, because guys want to get laid. And it's a lot harder to get laid when you're living at home with mom and dad than it is when you got your own spot.
But I don't know if it's
saying.
a stereotype or not, but what you do see is it's primarily the guys that stay with the parents longer than the females do.
Well, it also
I feel
depends
like
on how
I
far
do
they're
see
mature.
that.
A lot of people are late bloomers. I know dudes that didn't really start coming into their own until like senior year and into college. So I mean, it very Listen, I could not wait to get out of my parents' house, man. It was because of that sole reason I wanted to get laid.
That and independence. Yep.
Exactly.
That was part of that independence.
it.
Now, we also, some of the things, and I'm sure both of you have seen too, that over time, this generation that's coming into that time, that frame now of 17, 18, 19, they don't care about sex, even the dudes.
They don't, not even just that. They don't want to drive.
Yeah, they don't want to
They don't want
drive.
to drive. They don't want to get their driver's license. I know somebody very close to me, going to be 17. Well, she did just turn 17. Could have got her license last year, her learners, but she has no interest in it. And a lot of people don't. That was another thing. 16, the freedom of being on the road and having a car. 18, the freedom of having your own place.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, there was times after I moved out where I had to go move back in with my mom for a little bit amount of time to get back on my feet. But it was just that thing of like wanting to be your own person, your own adult, and do things on your own. And nobody could tell you what to do.
You chart your own path.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it is very weird that I've noticed as well, too. This younger generation doesn't want to drive.
Well, and there's another thing, too, that's really becoming a problem now, and that's affordability.
Yeah,
You know, going
that's
out and
100%,
living
yeah.
on your own is not cheap. And so you're definitely going to have at least one, if not more, roommates the way things are now.
It's still easier to get laid when you got roommates than when you got your parents, man. I'm just saying.
This is true. This is true.
All about getting laid with this guy. And
Can't argue that.
And then finally here, I think that we will probably all be on the same page with this. At what age should you stop laughing at poop jokes?
Never.
I agree.
Ever.
I'll be dead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be laughing at poop jokes with God.
Do you think he likes them too?
Oh, sure he does.
He invented them.
Somebody, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah, so you did participate with us. And of course, the same person who was 14, 26 when, what did I say? When they drank alcohol, they were. Also, when they first started dating and the first time they had sex. 14, the teacher was 26. So thank you so much for participating. BTW, Jimmy says my teacher was Mrs. Nutter. So
Mrs. Nutter. Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we know exactly who that is.
Well, we always appreciate you participating with us, whether that's the text line, giving us a call, that talkback feature. But you got to hang out. I know that you hear that music. That means the Penthouse is over. You're going to hear a little bit more of us. And it's your lucky day because you're going to get to hear Greek. And he'll be back tomorrow with us. We do have a Penthouse replay. And then you have the News Junkie. But most importantly, coming up in about 10 minutes, you have another keyword. We call it grand in your hand. Get yourself $1,000. Take the keyword, enter it, realradio921.com. We make it super for you, easy to do. You have an hour to do so with that 2 o'clock hour. If you get a phone call, pick it up because it could be us on the other line telling you that you won $1,000. Jimmy, thank you.
Be like Sherry. Be like Melanie.
Yes.
They won $1,000
Yes.
both in the 11 o'clock
And
hour,
guess
but
what?
they won it right here on Real Radio.
They did it by listening to Real Radio on our free iHeartRadio app.
They did. They did. Isn't that weird? Okay, so
true,
both
yeah.
listened on the app, both from Port St. Lucie, and both at the 11 o'clock hour. I have a feeling we're going to get our next one that way. Let's get a third person here on Real Radio. Jimmy, thank you so much for hanging out and helping with the Penthouse today. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Franny. Thank you, Jace. Good to
Yes,
see
sir.
you both. And thank you for listening.
Yes, and if you want to hear Jason and I, you're like, you know what? Those two got something.
Those two.
You can listen to us tomorrow morning on the Gator.
Listen, I know you like Rover's Morning Glory.
Yes.
I like Rover's Morning
I do
Glory.
too.
But
Who
they go
doesn't?
to, if you want to sample something a little
Yes.
bit different, when they go to Stop Set, or commercials, sorry. If they go to commercial break and you decide that you want to try out
There you
something
go.
else, come check out the Jason and Franny show on 98.7 The Gator. We will not disappoint. Well, we'll probably disappoint.
Maybe.
But
We don't make any
That's the
guarantees.
point. Exactly.
Yes.
Disappoint.
That's what we do here on the Penthouse all the time. I think that's why people tune in. And
they're
of
used to
course,
rejection here, so you might as well get it on another station too.
say, oh, that guy. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We'll be back at it tomorrow, same time, same place. Adios.
Bye-bye.
You can now watch your favorite radio show. Go to realradio921.com/watch so you can watch us make radio.
Hi, everyone. I'm Doug Plagans, radio voice of your Florida Panthers. The Panthers host the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight for Game 2 of their first-round best-of-7 Stanley Cup playoff series. The Panthers lead the series 1-0. We'll have all the action tonight, beginning with Panthers preview at 7. The puck drops at 7:30 at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise on the Florida Panthers Radio Network.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to put $1,000 in your hand. We're giving you 13 shots a day to score $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe it. Woo! Every weekday from 9:05 in the morning to 9:05 at night, we're giving you a keyword at 5 past the hour. Take that keyword and enter it at realradio921.com. Every keyword is worth $1,000.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
It's $1,000 in your hand. Good luck from Rover.